Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif. And we already have a couple of OGs in the chat. We got Daryl Finch, who, by the way, letting everybody know that he's first today. Shout out to him. What's up, Daryl? We got Market Sniper. We got Mateus Lane. Yo, what's up to you as well? We got the world's best moderator, Bears versus Bulls. We also have Mr. Long Shorts, Enyo Reina, Stupid Bitcoin Draco, and Jay Vandaway. Jason Walcott as well. I hope I didn't butcher your name, by the way. Big Michael Lloyd. We got Saul G. We got Cairo, Jay Lee. What's up, Jay? Hey, Davis, Zach Griffith, Chef Joe. We got Naps. We got Gorev, Bbot 5000, and Cristiano Ronaldo, and 1320 Wolf, Top VOIP, Maz Ahmed, Havana Woody. We got Esu Redmond, Derek B, Chandler. What's up, Chandler? Dad Trader, Futures Trader Extraordinaire. We got the gauntlet. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm not too bad. You know, a couple of trades here, a couple of trades there. Just warming up for the midday. Anything you are looking at? Oh, I see smiles and I see triangles.
Yeah, I'm going to probably shock maybe nobody by saying I got involved in Nvidia around 9:48. Not quite 9:48.50. We didn't even really get there. But I was watching this book from the second I sat down. And I said, hey, Nvidia, look what you're doing again. You're struggling at 9:48. We ran from 9:46 up to 9:47 like a charm. We get to 9:47 and it's like, that slower churn. Since I've gotten involved, we've touched 9:48.50 once, then we come back to the downside. I do not want to sit here and bet against, you know, CEO of Katina Capital, Sean Katina, but my very small Nvidia short position is something I like. I'm going to be getting out here around 9:46.50s. Why, you may ask? Maybe you didn't, but if you did, I do like how we have all kind of these wicks around here, and I think that could be an area at which to take risk. Also, 9:46 is one of the levels written on my version of a sticky note, which is just some comments to myself and some levels I like. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm just trying new things every day. I find writing down the price levels helps me, you know, not do things like, for example, disrespect the price levels. But again, too, my thing with Nvidia 9:48.50 is if we bounce, like, I'll take it long, whatever. But right now, I do feel like this short could potentially be in. If we break above 9:49, bye, and congrats to Sean and his long. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
All right. Brad Oldman, you asked for it, you got it, Mr. Oldman. Here it is. Nvidia, he wants to know what the expected move is. So previous move, Brad, as you can see, a very healthy 16.4% to the high side was the move last time around with Nvidia earnings. This time expected to be a bit more subdued, 8.3%. That's plus or minus, right? But I want to give you a bit of a tidbit. This is not mine. This is shout out to Danielle Shea. Danielle Shea, options trader extraordinaire, gave me a bit of a tidbit last time when Tesla reported, or I believe it was some sort of company. So the expected move is obviously based on options, right? And the options volume, that's why you have the corresponding column there with the options volume right next to it to show you the interest. You can also look at open interest as well at the different levels. The point of this whole thing is to tell you if the move stays within the expected move, so goes, say, maybe plus 8.3 or minus 8.3 or thereabouts, right? You can mean revert off that. But once that breaks, so say you go minus 12 or plus 12, the mean reversion becomes less likely. So just keep that tidbit in mind, but I do like how you're thinking, looking for the expected move there. Just want to digress quickly to shout out Brad for that because he was asking for it. All right, I want to get to some of the trades that I had real quick here, and then we'll start the lesson du jour. So Amazon has a love affair today with the 50 period on the 5. Don't know why, don't care. Took the trade off that 183 and 2/3 dip and then wet my beak just in front of 184. And so this is the look that I'm looking at over here, AMZ. And I looked at this originally and I'm like, whoa, this is looking like maybe a head and shoulders setup on the 5. But I'm like, okay, I'm seeing what I want to see. Is there anything else that I can discern from this chart? Well, there is. 1 hold, 2 hold, 3 hold, 4, 5, 6, 7, all at the 50 period on the 5-minute. Amazon in love with the 50 period today. Keep your eye on that. It's good until it's not. So, you know, you got to take it while it lasts. The other one, there is another 50 period love affair here with the soft one coming right into that level and then curling back up, but I didn't have that trade. I did, though, have the trade on AAPL, and I want to show that one super quick. I've been dancing with Apple, some winners, some losers. This was the original dip into the volume weighted average price at 192.5, and I was able to wet my beak into the high 60s there. Then it dipped into the 200 on the 5, and this is where I got caught up a little bit good, a little bit not so good. It's now curling back off the 200, holding that 192, a bit of a doji candle there, and another candle to make a new high on the 5-minute look. So AAPL, I took both those trades. I was very close to getting triggered into Meta. That would have been the best trade of all. Alas, I missed it by 1 penny. He probably wouldn't have got triggered, though, because Meta is a little bit spready there. So those are the trades that I've had today. Guys, we are at day's high as I speak about the future over here. Is this an all-time high? Let me just look at what we did yesterday. Yes, new all-time high on said NQ futures contract. And every moment I speak, it looks as if there's a new all-time high. 18,838 and a quarter. We are at day's highs and all-time highs. Great look today for the future. We'll keep an eye, Adara, on these Mag 7 names. Meta at day's high.
Wow, yeah, Meta, that's not a Meta move for Meta.
Oh.
It's a big old move for M to the E to the T to the A. Yeah, zuck goose, I guess, over there. I got out of Nvidia, and I am all smiles. I'm not, I mean, it happened, it sucked. But I do want to say one thing I wrote that Sean put on his Twitter or X with regards to Nvidia was, in order to make money, you must attempt ideas. So that's a quote from Sean Katina, and I think it's something I really relate to as well. I like this Nvidia idea. It looked like it might work for half a minute. It didn't work. I left. So I am not going to be crying over spilt shares. I am really quickly as well here. Also, if we bounce off 948.50, you guys know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go long. If we reject off 948.50, yeah, going to go short. Good times. I'm short IWM, and I have to say, right now, I'm pretty IW mellow about it, but that's just because I overslept last night. But I am happy with this trade. Look, we're going to get half our position out at that 207.90. I got short because this is one level I literally wrote down on my Adara's ticker document, and I did like it because, look.
I love that. You're going to have to post that.
I'm going to have to post this or do something, but I do like this. I still have half the position in. I know I said I'm trying to do less of like the whole take half out, leave piece for dream, but right now, that was not even English, but I wanted to do it today because I do think there's other levels this could go to, namely 207.80 and the big whale level that I wrote down on my off-brand sticky note. It's going to be that 207.5. So let's see what happens. Right now, please, this punch, but also, we're always trying to get long on learning. So let's get long
no question
on
about it.
Of the day.
Absolutely. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, we're
all right.
Just looking at IWM.
So we are talking about the measured move all week long. Today, we're going to narrow it down a little bit, talking about spotting those higher probability breakouts using the measured move. So let's get right to it. Breakouts can be exciting opportunities in intraday trading, but pinpointing higher probability ones can be a bit tricky, right? So this lesson explores how the measured move can help you identify these breakouts with greater confidence. No, confidence, I'm kidding. So the measured move explained, as we typically do, in case you missed lesson on Monday when we kind of surmised the basics of the measured move. If you don't want this 2-line explanation I'm about to give you, go back, have a listen to the lesson that Adara and I dropped on Monday. We go through all the fundamentals of the measured move. But in a nutshell, the measured move is a concept that relates to price movement, to volume. Where have we heard that before? Like everywhere. It suggests that the size of a breakout, so the price move, is often proportional to the preceding trading volume. So what we're going to be looking at today is the volume that precedes a possible breakout. That's it. We're going to be looking at the volume in the days, hours, minutes, whatever context or time frame in which we're trading. We're going to look at the volume before the breakout. That is going to be the focus today, so just have that context in mind. So identifying breakout levels. How do we do that? So first and foremost, we need to identify key areas of both support and resistance, okay, on the chart. These are areas where the price has historically bounced off or rejected off, creating temporary barriers or supports. And we also have to have a focus on volume analysis. Observe the volume activity around these levels, around the key areas of both support or resistance, depending on whether we're going long or short. You're looking for a surge in volume preceding a price move towards support or resistance. So we want to see that level, that 200 level on Apple, that 165 level on Apple as support, 200 as resistance. What's the volume like when we break that, say, 195, that 197, as we inch closer to that 200, or as we inch closer to that 165? What's the volume doing in the days or hours prior to that? That's really the focus here that we're trying to look at. So the measured move in action, baby. So how do we do this? So breakout with high volume. If a price decisively breaks through a support or resistance level accompanied by high volume, this could be a breakout signal. Sounds easy enough, right? But projecting the measured move is where it gets a bit more nuanced. Here's where the measured move comes in. Take the distance between the support and resistance level and the breakout point, for example, $2, okay? Project this distance in the breakout direction. So if it's a short, you're projecting it down. If it's a long, you're projecting it up. So project this distance in the breakout direction to estimate the potential price target. For example, if the breakout is upwards, add $2 to that breakout price. And I just want to put that for you there. I know it gets a little convoluted, but if you've got the screen there and you can go back and have a look at that. So this is where it gets more nuanced. So once we see the breakout coming out with volume, then becomes incumbent upon us to actually do this math and make the projections. But these are only guidelines, guys, right? These are good for profit taking or for stop losses, and not to really bet the farm on. So why does this all matter? Right? Well, there's confirmation with volume, and if you've ever been watching any of our lessons, you know how important confirmation is in technical analysis. So high volume preceding a breakout suggests increasing buying or selling pressure, potentially pushing the price further in the breakout direction. But there's also the measured target. The projected price target based on the measured move gives you a realistic estimate, essentially, of where the price might reach, helping you set the profit targets. And that's what I want to kind of advocate these for. Have them as potential beak-wetting identifiers as where you want to take your profits, especially when the move is a breakout move, not, a retracement or a dip trade. These are specific to breakout moves. And here's a great example. Thank you, Adara, for showing this. This is a breakout with volume confirmation using the measured move, and it's obviously an up move there. You'll see as we are coming into those key areas of resistance, the volume surges a little bit. So we get the idea that the bulls or interested parties are accumulating, and we've talked about this before when we talked accumulation distribution in front of key areas of support and resistance. If you didn't watch that lesson, just do a quick YouTube search on our homepage, type in accumulation distribution. You should get that lesson, no problemo. All right, so important considerations to consider when using this strategy. There is the ever-present danger of false breakouts. Hate these. Not all breakouts with volume are successful. Price can sometimes fake a breakout and then reverse. Use additional confirmation signals like moving averages or price patterns to strengthen your conviction. And the market context also needs to be analyzed and considered before entering and using this strategy. Consider the overall market sentiment. A strong breakout during a bullish trend is more likely to have follow-through than a breakout during a consolidation phase or even a bear market if it was a breakout long, right? So keep market context in mind, especially like with the Mag 7 names and the futures pumping to all-time highs. Chances are that if you get a breakout trade on a Mag 7 name with the future at all-time highs, you'll probably get some follow-through. It's not a hard and fast rule, but something to consider. So putting it all together, how are you using this? Step one, you're going to identify key areas of support and resistance and high volume activity around those levels. That's step one. Step two, you're going to look for a decisive break with volume confirmation. Step three, you're going to project the measured move distance to estimate a potential price target. Go back and go back to the formula I just showed you to make that projection. And then step four, lastly, combine this with other technicals, obviously, and the market context for a more robust trading strategy, guys. And remember, I really want to emphasize this. The measured move is a tool. It is not a guarantee by any means. There's probably like no guarantees in this business. Backtest your strategies and refine them based on real market data. By incorporating the measured move in your analysis, you can become a more adept trader.
Yeah, we love adept trading over here at How to Trade. And also what I want to actually kind of touch on is, because I appreciate what you said about if you're in, like, for example, Meg 7, see what the future's doing. If it's like pushing to all-time highs, you're pushing to all-time highs, some nice confirmation. Yes. One example too is if you have something where you, like, we have a Meg 7 name, for example, moving in the opposite direction of the future, that can also tell you something. So Tesla yesterday, before it had that big push up, it was kind of moving down as the futures would get those pops into highs. So I think that's something you can kind of look at as well sometimes. When do you have divergence? Also, if I may, I kind of want to talk about this Nvidia trade because I'm really happy with it. So this was scalpulation. I have waxed poetic about this made-up term called scalpulation, and what it means is you have your profit. When I say you, I mean me. I have my profit targets, I have my areas I like, but I also am prepared to leave if I see stuff on the book that changes my idea. A lot of people in the chat have told me, I know Neil says this a lot as well, if you're not comfortable in the trade, get out. And so that was what happened here. I got involved at 948s. I saw that we kind of came down a little bit, then we recovered at 948s. Goal here, big gold star goal was going to be 949. Then I realized we were probably not going to get there, or at least at a pace that I was comfortable with, that I knew I could handle, because I am a kind of a risk-averse person, which I realize is really idiosyncratic with day trading. So, you know, you have to kind of adjust that. And for me, it was like, I noticed we were struggling here. I was like, I don't know if we're going to get this 949s. Get out at 948.50, cut the cord. I get out, we drop a little bit. I was like, cool. I was risking to like about 947.50. Lowest I got while we were in the trade was 947.85. So I don't feel like I risked too much, if that makes sense. If we keep popping up at this VWAP and this delicious level I love, which is 948.50, then, you know, we're going to have to sing Mamma Mia. Here we go again, one more time here, about at that 948.50 level, because I love that. And I find a way for me to avoid FOMO is just by getting out of the trade. Like, it could be better, but I'd rather just get out of the trade while I have profit, or otherwise I might do something a little silly. So that's my plan there with Nvidia. Still slightly down in the day, but I do have my IWM trade, which I'm really proud of as well. And yes, it did obviously go lower. I got out of this a bit early, but I'm happy. I'm still happy with it. You know what I mean? 207.80 was one of the areas I was targeting. Sure, could we have gotten that 207.60? Would it have been delicious? Yes and yes. But did we take some profits? Yeah, so I can't be too disappointed. I am pleased as punch. And if we bounce, this range is still intact. Someone's going long. I see you are involved in CVAC. Are you CVACing any profits?
I'm HVACing these profits. Oh, all right. No. Seriously, here's the look. CVAC, one of the 6 small cap gappers du jour to make it up on the trusty side charts, and let's cover these bad boys. Here they are, the trusty 6. These two over here, they don't count. That's the NQ and the S. Do not look on the right. No, I'm kidding. I don't know why I feel like this today. But anyway, CVAC coming in to the volume weighted average price of Darrow, which also happens to a little bit coincide with this $4 area. You don't have to convince me twice on a strong name to look at VWAP. So I'm already long at 04s. We'll see what we get here, come what may. Stops in place, beak wetter is in place, and this monster CVAC, let me give you the deets. So $910 million market cap. So almost $1 billion, so kind of not a small cap gapper. 4.5 million shares. The float, 122 million share float. And the short float, let's find out if there is anything afoot here with said short float. Decent, 4.8% of the 122 million shares is shorted, so not negligible by any means. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm looking to wet my beak at 10s. We'll see what we get with CVAC. We're going to let that one do its thing, 21. The other one, MAXN. These are not like triple-digit winners, but you'll be able to see here by the chart that they're good-looking charts on the day. MAXN is absolutely hugging that 10-period EMA on the 5, curling back a little bit right now off 340. MAXN, MAXN. The deets are as follows: $178 million market cap, 4.42 million shares traded today, and the float, 32.3 million. What is the short float on this monster? MAXN. Wow, this is a big boy short float on MAXN. 45.06% of the 32.3 million shares are shorted. This one reports May 30th. Interesting here on Maxon, did not know it had such a high short float. Maybe that's why it's being targeted. I don't actually see a headline. Oh, here it is. This Maxon Solar receives NASDAQ notification to delayed filing of annual report. Okay, that shouldn't send it super high, but in any event, that is the look on MAXN. Just wanted to point that one out because it's a good small cap gapper. And it looks like I'm printing here on, am I? Yes, we did wet our beak there, so we're gonna let that go. FREY, sorry to hold up here, but I just want to go through this small cap. Right? They're all really good looking today.
With that. That's a nice look.
Because you like to talk on that, don't you? I knew it. Yep. Hey, I'm starting to know a little bit how you think. Look at this one, though. This is very bull flaggish. So bull flaggish that, you know, it can't even break the 10 period on the 5 over here. So let me give you the deets quickly on FREY. It's as follows. It's a $362 million market cap, 6 2/3 million shares traded on the day, and the float is 117.5 million. And I'm just going to look super quick here on trade ideas. The short float, good. 7.1% of the float is short. So good look there. That could get a little bit parabolic-ish. And then the best of them, I guess, IGMS. It's highest in terms of percentage. Its print and days high. It's also got a love affair with the 10 period on the 5. It's really going here. So let me give you the deets on this. This is the #1 scanner. Number one name on my scanner, $714 million market cap. The volume, though, is a little bit suspicious. Less than 1.5 million shares done on the day. That's a little 22 million share float. And last but not least, the short float on this is 30%. Okay, so you have another heavily shorted name, IGMS, MAXN, very highly shorted names. They could absolutely get parabolic if they catch a bit today. Keep your eye out on that. And go CVAC, go, baby. We printed on this one, and that's the end of the trade there, Dara.
Congrats to you. In the words of you, wet that beak, get the beak wet. So congrats, shout out, do that dance. Microsoft, I want to take short. I like that 431.80. I was like, ooh, we're rejecting. And Microsoft was like, yeah, but like not with you. And it dropped. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to chase. You don't want to go chasing waterfalls. Yeah, so we're going to have to see what happens there. I was also trying to play something that was just, I realized was going to be kind of futile, so I got out of it. This Apple keeps rejecting at the 9 EMA. And I was like, hey, we're going to take this short in tandem with the Qs dropping. I thought this was a really cool plan. And then Apple dropped 4 cents before I could get involved, and again, no chasing. I think the issue is need to be more on the ball, seeing these things before they happen or as they happen. But you know, one thing I am looking at that I actually think I might be able to get filled on, and I want to explain my thinking here on PDD. I think we could be reversing to the upside. You may be like, Adara, what on earth would possess you to think that? Nice call. But I like, yeah, we're actually going to try to get long this because why not?
Why not?
Thank you, Sharif. We're going to be getting out if we break below, yeah, we're going to risk 50 pennies. I can live with that. I want minimum, yeah, apparently $2 is the area I like. I do love that 150. Will we get 150? Highly debatable. But, you know, again, to quote something Sean put on his Twitter that I really liked was, in order to make money, you must attempt ideas. Bang. And if I'm not attempting ideas, what am I doing sitting in this here chair? I never thought it was going to be trading, but here we are trading. So you gotta take things how they come. And I love being involved in these markets, and I love when I see stuff like this. Let me explain. Initially, I wrote that 153 level, 153.75, 154, because that was an area that was support, flipped to resistance. I liked it. Then I noticed we kind of continued to see this move to the downside every time we got to the 90 and maybe we rejected. I said, now it's a short. Then I noticed we kind of pop back up here. And I said, if we bounce at 148, it's a long. I realize I've switched my opinions on this 3 times already, but PDD just gave me reason to. So hopefully we're going to get paid them dollars in this trade. That acronym worked better in my head. But yeah, so really I think we're going to take some out maybe at this 149 base, but of course I'm saving for that 150 area. I love that 150 area. We have that A VWAP projection, B support resistance flip-flop, C I like that it's a whole dollar level. And D, the spread is tightening, which has nothing to do with my reasoning, but it's just always fun as someone who does not enjoy really spready stocks. And I'm sure Eli Lilly is like, Adara, what are you talking about? You traded me for months. But it's all good. I do like PDD. I like that we're holding this 148. And now, what is Sharif looking at over here?
I just suggested by top voice over internet protocol to look at ENVX, and I happen to like the chart a little bit.
Is that Novix and Novovix? Is that what that's?
I haven't even looked.
Oh, okay.
So, let's find out. It is actually. Did you know about this one already?
Well, it ran in the past. I just remember
yeah,
some of these small cap
actually,
tickers,
yeah, you have that memory, man. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. ENVX, guys, she is absolutely right on that. If we can show the chart there, Ram. Big move up on May 1st. So the first of the month. Hi, Neil. This was absolutely pumping up through 6.5. By the end of day, it found its way into 8 3/4. But that wasn't the end of the matter. The following days, subsequent, it ended up pamping into about 10 3/4. That's before it came down and basically held the 200 on the hourly. Now it's right back above that high that we put in on May 6th. So these are definitely local highs, $11.16. This one has been looking decent. Almost $2 billion market cap, $1.89 billion. Today's done 3.1 million shares on the day, $143 million market cap, float, excuse me, 143 million share float, ENVX, and the short float is big as well. Wowzers, that's 3 in a row now that we've got. 31.11% of the 143 million shares is shorted. So this one, another one that could go parabolic here if it does catch a bid. Heavily shorted name. Let's go into the daily and figure out where to expect key areas of technical resistance. So this one has a very definable top here that we put in early to mid-February at 12.5. So we're not that far away from it now, and we could absolutely get there within the next couple of days. So I'm going to put an alert out, and this alert's going to stay in place. I'm going to put it near 12 1/4 so I can be alerted to that 12.5 if it makes its way up there either today or tomorrow or whatever. So interesting look here. I think you have kind of a clear sky setup from where we're at right now into that 12.5, and then I think you encounter a little bit of resistance there. Let's see what ENVX brings. Let's go to the minute now and have a look at this on the daily. Okay, so I don't like to trade these on the 1 minute for analysis, just for the entry. So, okay, this one is absolutely hugging the 10 period as well, getting a little extended now away from the 10 period. And look what happened last time it got extended from the 10 period on the 5, right over here. You don't have to look far. 10:30, we got away from the 10 period, and look what happened. Right back down, that magnetic effect that the OB, the 1, the Knob always talks about. So I'll be looking for something in and around 11, maybe high 1090s or so. This is an interesting area. Good luck. Thank you for shouting that out top. Voice over internet protocol.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, yeah. It's like such old technology.
Wait.
Yeah, it's not old technology. It's just a really old way of saying internet telephony.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew,
Good times.
Good times. Also good times in PDD. I did get out part earlier than expected. I know I said I'm waiting for 149, and then PDD ran into this weird resistance at 148.50, and I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. Took out 2/3 of the profit. Is that a specific level? Yeah, but I had a random share size number. I think I'm gonna have to get the rest out maybe here though, because we keep getting up to this 50 area, and then PDD's like running away scared. Well, so you might be like, Adara, why 50s? The book, I did not like what we were doing around 50s. Case in point, we're doing it again. We're just getting out here. Please just punch if we get filled. But also, look at that chop and churn on the 5 minute at this level. So a couple different factors of confluence. Shout out to Obi behind us there. The Amazonian, as Sharif sometimes call it. In case you're like, who's the Amazonian? Sometimes it's Amazon, the stock. Other times it's Obi. It does depend. But either way, shout out. I've got out here at 40s. There's too much chop and churn here for me. Could I have stayed longer? Oh, sure. Might I get back in? Possibly. Still on my side chart. But am I happy with the trade? That's going to be a resounding yes. Right now, this is my top name so far. I've been trying to trade less names, just hone in on names and levels I like. But what's everyone else looking at here? ENVX, some people liking. Yeah, Sharif brought that one up. Let's look at FSLR, because I saw lots of solar-related. Oh, that's FLSR, which is not correct. FLSR. Let's look at this one. Okay, this is really spicy. I like that we have this 9 EMA bounce here. We have very few red candles all day. I don't want to say nary a red candle, but because there are some lately, but that's what I mean. So we get up here to this 238, and then we see this glorious chop and churn. Look at this, bounce, reject, like literally a yo-yo, but still going slightly higher. Then we get even more interesting. We have this topping tail candle up here, 242. I'm like, okay, I see you. Then we come back down, we get that red candle, and we come back up. This is the type of name that honestly you could probably, and when I say you, I mean me, because no advice, there could even maybe be some scalps here. And I would have to play this like, this would be kind of a ridiculous trade, but you're getting like, the range for candle, as Sharif sometimes says, is at least $1 now. This is getting really spicy. I really like this look, and I think if we, like, this range for candle, you could short this, go long, go short, but I just think it could be really dicey as well. We're at like 13% right now,
yeah,
so
it's a monster. Wow.
I don't really know if I trust myself, but I think either way, I would like to see if we could eclipse that 242. I know that's like a Dara classic, wait for new high of day, but I say that because that topping tail candle is quite a look, and I think we're getting even more consolidative. Nice look here in FSLR. Let's see how much more time we have left. Yeah, Tam Panda, my initial look was shorting PDD, but I would only, and I'm really happy I got out where I did because we just fell 20 pennies, but I want to see what we do with the 9 EMA. If we keep getting those 9 EMA rejections, that's when I'm going to get in. I do not want to hop in all willy-nilly. Also, let's look at Tesla, because I know some people mentioning Tesla, and I have not even looked at, I've been, a little bit neglectful for Tesla. But look at this 181. Was this one of the levels I wrote down today? No, 181.75, so no. But look at this 181 base here. We get in the 5 minute. Then we come back. We look like we're trying to reject it, and we're rejecting the 9 EMA. I don't mind that, but I also don't like that we're pushing higher on the Qs, though honestly, Tesla and the Qs are kind of like a funhouse mirror situation. They're a little bit opposing each other here. Qs squirreling higher, Tesla squirreling lower. I should have said curling, realized I didn't write this down. But it's all good. They're making those squirrely moves to the downside for the Tesla and squirrely moves to the upside for TQQs or just the Qs. But yeah, Tesla, if you keep valuing this 181, this could be an interesting short. How are you doing?
Good, good. Softies right back at the 50 period on the 5. Here's the look. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm looking at. I might be persuaded to get long on the soft one here. Look, you're not going to be able to just put an order at the 50 and have a 10 penny spread between your entry and your out, because look what it did last time. It pushed you out. So the actual 50 period was hanging out at 430.75. It pushed you all the way down just a smidge above that $0.50. So here we go again, soft one coming in to that 50 period moving average on the 5 minute chart. I do like it here. I just don't want to have a resting order there in case it does continue through and break down. So I'm going to wait for some sort of confirmation. Yeah, yes, the buyers are stepping up here, and we're gonna pop up. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a little bit of a dip trade. I'm going to sit at 88s. Okay, we're going to sit at 88s and see what we get there. I think that I have a decent idea of where I want to get out. Here we're at 88s right now, so if I print, the area I want to get out is the making of a newer low. So anything below 65s and the trade is gonzino. It's printing 88s on the bid. I'm not getting filled because the spread is about 3 pennies at the moment. There we go. Now I'm filled at 88s. So I'm going to go ahead and put my out at 59s, whatever, 430. We're going to put, we'll put 58s, and then we'll give this one all the way down into 50. We'll give it to 49 just in case, right? So we'll see if it holds up at this level. Long 88s, already 10 pennies out of the money. So we'll have to wait and see if this is a quick dip below the 50 period and then we pop back up like we did last time on that 5 minute candle right in 11, or this is going to be the breaking of the low. My stop's already in place. Also, the other trade I want to tell you about, Meta, coming into the 10 period. Originally, like, it hasn't really respected the 10 period that much. It looks like the respect has been for the yellow line, which is the 20 period EMA on the 5. So I'm interested in getting something here, 471.50 or thereabouts on META as it comes down a little bit as well. All right, so let's put a beak wetter on the soft one here. I'll sit at 98s because what's life without whimsy? We'll look for a bit of a profit taker if it's able to make its way back into that whole dollar area. The future's at day's highs right now. So we just got printed on the soft one. Happy about that, but I'm greedy. I want more. Let's see if we can make it back into the WAP. The VWAP is at 431.25. If we can make it there, I'll wet my beak.
If you can make it there, we can make it everywhere. It's up to you, Mr. Softy. Mr. Softy. Shout out to Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra. That worked better in my head.
Are you a Frank fan?
I am a Frank fan.
Sinatra fan.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Frank Ocean too.
Yeah. Okay.
But Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Sam Cooke.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up with all this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah, I mean technically I guess shout out to my dad because he got me into that. But
He's
yeah.
the one, eh?
Oh yeah. The whole Rat Pack. Also Rivian. Some people were tagging Rivian Millionaire, who was in our chat saying, "Hope you're having a good day." And I'm sure if you weren't a Rivian Millionaire already, you could be one today. No, I'm joking. But there's this great opportunity on Rivian. Shout out to Neil, who I think got long 1020s on this. So great look there, 30 pennies in the money. Great look on RIVN. This one just revving to the upside. There was a catalyst on this. I don't know if that's what moved it. It also does have like almost a 15% short float, I think. But RIVN here was moving to the upside on that news with, it's having some solar partnership in the community with Illinois. We know it has its factory in Normal, Illinois. So nice community stuff there for RIVN. And also, you know what's interesting here? This 1025. A little resistance, a little support. That's all we need. Running to the upside. Great look there. Yeah, also, you know what's kind of coming into areas that I kind of like? Nvidia. I said I'm not getting involved in this unless I see stuff I love. So far that's worked okay. I'm slightly down in the name, but both trades I took I felt good about and I managed okay. So that's kind of, I think, to me, sometimes what matters. But if we have that 948.50 or at this point, maybe we're even moving to 949 and then you risk into 948.50. Either way, though, I think we're kind of continuing to churn to the upside. Shout out to Katina Capital CEO Sean Katina, who is killing it on this trade. Right now, I'm up on the day and I'm pretty happy with it so far. I don't want to, jinx anything, but I think it's just about conviction. Also, Tesla's being like, yeah, you sure should have stayed here longer, huh? Yeah, I should have. I got out around I think high 70s because we kind of had that move down. Then we came right back up to my point of entry. I said, Adara, you don't like this. Tesla doesn't like this. Just get out at one. Just get out a little bit earlier here. I was risking to 181.20s, took about 20 pennies. So mixed risk to reward. But as you can see here, that's the reason I got out. We'll get to a level and then we'll come right back up with a viciousness. A little bit harder to be a part of unless you are in super scalp mode. And because I slept for 10 hours last night, my brain is just not in super scalp mode yet. But that doesn't mean it won't be. With some more caffeine.
Ooh, she loaded up today too. So she puts one shot of espresso in her tea. That's a Ram thing, by the way.
Yeah, shut up.
Today there were two.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so.
And then I went to sit down and I was very tired. And Sean's like, maybe you should have done a triple. And maybe I should have.
Wow.
But all good there. How is your Microsoft with the beat?
We're break even right now on the remaining little piece. I've already put my out for the $0.25. Well, hopefully a $0.25 retracement. It's definitely dancing with the 50 right now. A couple of wicking tails into 70. Both have bought up. I'm not 100% convinced by this, but I'm not going to get out of it either. The stop is in place. The profit taker's in place. There's really nothing for me to do other than to wait to see if I get stopped out on the remaining ballast or print. That's as simple as that. So we're going to let that one do its thing. The other thing that I keep looking at here is META, because this one is coming down into 472. And, well, not just the whole dollar level. That's not really what interests me. What interests me is this top-end consolidation. It's also conflating, confluence, with 472 at the whole dollar level. So we had these wick shimmies into the whole dollar level. We retraced, came back to the 20, and then we broke it. Now, do we have a shallower retracement this time because we have a clearer top here, 472, and the 10 period, or are we still going to do the dance with the 20 period and come down into 471.50? So that's what I'm watching here on META. Good day for it, up 1 2/3 after a rough couple of days for Meta. It's been ever since that earnings report. Really, look, they didn't do anything bad. All they did was just say that they're going to spend a little bit more on Meta Reality Labs for their metaverse, this, that, and the other, including AI, than the market really wanted to hear. So. The market has a way of making Zuck pay when they don't like what he has to say. If you don't know, go back and look at Meta's chart at 2022. then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It went from $350 to $88 that quick. So they've made him pay before, you know, they're not making him pay this time, obviously, the same way. We'll keep an eye on that. Brad Aldman, question, I closed out of my CVAC and the selling price spanned 6 cents for 1,000 shares. Any way to avoid this large spread? Look, dude, it's one of the age-old issues, the spread on the name. Typically, when something's doing a lot of volume, the spread's a little bit tighter. When something's a bit cheaper, the spread's also a little bit tighter. That's not a hard and fast rule, so you can find these names that do get spready. It's a tough look, dude. All I can say is maybe have resting orders so that you're first in line for the trigger. Because if you're going to put it super quick, once the price gets into your level, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be lower in priority for the fill. So have your order out there, I guess, to try to get higher in priority. The negative side of that is a lot of people don't like to have resting orders because the market makers see your orders. And then there's that whole theory about the market makers taking down. And I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But those are... that's what I'd say with respect to that. Tam Panda, Meta breaking through daily 9 SMA. Shout out to you. Uh-oh. Big Kyle Burdett. This one's for you, $4.99 super chat.
Adara, I got 4 kids to send your way if that oversleeping is getting you down. Come on, man. See, I saw some stuff in the chat about this as well, like, oh, drink more water. So I mentioned this in the market recap, but I am like medically sleepy. So no matter how much sleep I get, I will unfortunately be tired. And the more sleep I get too, the more my body like feeds on it like a leech. It's like, give me more, give me more. So yeah, it was an accidental, fell asleep at 8 p.m. with the contacts in type of night. All good. But I'm just very eager to crush these markets. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess the 4 kids would keep me awake there. So no complaints. But thank you so much to Big Kyle Burdett for that $4.99 super chat. Also, that reminds me, I know you trade the SPY sometimes. I actually had a level on the SPY that I like that I haven't really looked at yet today. So I liked that 531.20 because look at all that top and turn we had at 531.20. It was also a level, if you zoom out a little bit, it was a level, I thought it was a level I liked, maybe it wasn't. But I thought it was kind of an interesting area to play around with, that 531.20, and the SPY was like, what do you mean? I was like, okay. But look at that bounce around 531. There could be something here. Shout out there. I really do like this look on the SPY. I think there could be something there. Also, I got long Meta, which I know, and I've said this before, that's a trade I'll only take if I really, really like what I'm seeing, and I do. But first, I want to talk about IBIT, because lots of people talking about these crypto. Oh my gosh. Woo. Look at that. Look at that break above here.
Dang, girl.
Higher highs, higher lows. Are you saying that to IBIT? IBIT's like, oh, thank you, Sharif. I appreciate it. I earned that. But yeah, nice pop up here. A little bit of chop and churn. Then we burst to the upside, especially when the Q is slouching a little bit. I think that's a really nice look for META. Also, sorry, not META, IBIT. I got into Meta, and I appreciate what Sharif had to say about this one as well, trying to continue to climb to the upside. Look at this 90 MA bounce. I know I said because of the spread, I literally only trade this name if I find the levels to die for. In this case, I do. And I'm not, like, I could wait for a higher high or a high of daybreak on Meta. I'm not going to. I'm gonna have to get out though, because we just dropped with the viciousness, and that's the one thing about our Meta is that it can get a little nasty there. So yeah, did lose a little bit on that name, but you know what that means? Just gotta find more trades you like. Nice. And make more gains.
All right, D. Westermeyer, Sharif, Adara. First of all, what's up, D? It's been a minute since we've seen you. We miss you around here, obviously. D. Westermeyer, one of the OGs there. Nice recovery on Zim today. I'm in and I'm out. Money, money, money. Shout out to you. I know they reported. Did they report yesterday?
Zim? They reported yesterday.
Yesterday, thank you.
They were on the watch list.
They're that Chinese shipping company, right?
I think they're Israeli.
Oh, they're Israeli, my bad. Okay, let's find out here. They are Israeli-based company. What do they do? Shipping. Yeah, because I always see them on the back of trucks. I don't know why I thought they were Chinese. Anyway, great look for them today. It's a red to green move. So here's what Adara was talking about yesterday in the pre. They report in the pre. We go all the way down to 16, let's say 16 3/4. And we retrace that entire move. So we're basically back into the area that we were at before the earnings miss. I'm assuming that they missed here because they sold off. 1906 HOD right now. Keep your eye out for that 1950. That was the high that we got to before that earnings miss the day before the earnings miss. So yesterday we reported in the morning. So good look. RSI on the 5-minute oversold at the moment. Keep your eye out on that. But that's not, I'm not really putting too much stock into that. Great recovery for you, D. Westermeyer, baby. Hope you print on that. Well, you already printed on it. So shout out to you. Gorev, if you were to go long shop holding on VWAP right now, what kind of confirmation would you wait for? Interesting. Great question, Gorev. Let's have a look at.
I like that.
Yeah, it is, because it figures with what we've been saying in the lesson for like umpteen zillion days right now. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. All right, here is VWAP. Well, the thing about this, Gorev, is you're kind of straddling. It's not really a VWAP trade here, it looks like. Shopify is very range bound at these levels. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let me have a look at this. Yeah, it's really between, it's really like 59 and a fifth, or thereabouts. I know the wicks go lower to test 59.10 or so, but the high side over here, you have 59 and a half, 59 and a third. Look, this to me is not a VWAP hold trade, because what you do is you're just straddling it here for basically for the last 2 hours. So Gorev, I'm going to have to say, this is not the VWAP trade that I'd be looking for. A VWAP retracement, something that was trading higher, comes off, starts bouncing back up. Nah, this is very consolidative, and the volume is really dropping off, Gorev. Not what I want to see subsequent to earnings. I want to see some participation. Keep your eye out on the name, though, in the next coming days, because hedge funds can start piling into this, right? Big money, they have buying committees, and so once the earnings report is out, those committees meet to, I guess, discuss whether they're going to add, remove, or close the position. And so, there's always the move in the days subsequent to the earnings report. So I'm out of the soft one right now for the remaining balance, and there's a reason for that. It made a new low. And so the trade, in my estimation, is no longer valid. So we got in for the 50-period hold because it was dancing with the 50, and it was dancing with the 50 for a while. But we had this low over here off which to base my stop. I said to myself, look, this is a 50-period move. If it makes a newer low over here for the break of 60, I'm gonzino. And last it did, it dipped into 55s. That triggered my out. And so I'm still positive on the name because the amount that I had was quite small remaining there. So decent trade on the soft one, but alas, we do not get that continuation with Softy. Okay, other trades now. So I know that you got pushed out of that META trade because Meta's a monster. Yeah, and it's doing the wick shimmy. It's doing the wick shimmy, showing you that someone very interested is buying at those levels at around 472 or so. So keep your eye on Meta. I don't think the trade is done 1 2/3 in the good now. Here is the other one that I want to talk about, Softy. So this one, for whatever reason, made its way right back into that level that we closed. This was the IB high on the wicking basis, 185.22. But look at the closing prints, all south of 185, 185.80-ish. That's where the close was. Surprise, surprise. Look where we started retracing off, 184.85, coming back into the VWAP here. I'm unsure how to trade this. It's not respecting VWAP. It's not respecting the 10 or the 20. So I'm going to go back to what works. It's respected the 50 here, 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 here. You get the idea. So I'm going long on Amazon at the 50, 183.92. I'm sending it to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to let a Meta get the better of me. But actually now, when we said that, I was like, oh yeah, Meta's going to continue without me.
183.90.
And then I actually was like, I think Meta might be a short. You might be like, Adara, pourquoi? Like, what do you see it? Okay, I'll tell you. That 90 EMA rejection. We bounced around. We did the wick shimmy dance, as Sharif says, around that 472 area. And now I actually think we're rejecting it. And the only reason I'm not hopping into that short with both feet first is it's Meta. I just don't have that feel-good energy about it. But you know what I did do is I thought Nvidia could have been a long, so I went long on VDL because I was like, oh, Adara, that way you can take more shares and you're risking less. Yeah, no. I forgot, the second I got in, I remembered why I don't like NVDL, and it's because I find it to be really spready, but not in the way Nvidia is spready, where it's like moving a lot. It's just kind of not a lot of liquidity, and I feel like I can't manage myself in NVDL, especially because I scalp. You can't really do that there. So Nvidia holding this 949 okay-ish. I'm not getting involved. Right now, I'm waiting for my 948.50. If I get the short that I want there, I'm going short. If we bounce off 948.50, I'm going long. But there's something with that level. There is something so odd about that level. It's some weird kind of karma, and I want in. So I will be getting in because I have the conviction. Michael Moore shorted Amazon, apparently 184.81. So, I mean, shout out to you. You are a cool 70 cents in the money. So nice look there. And I mean, look at a double top. That's a fantastic look there for Michael Moore. Meta might also be rejecting the daily 9 SMA, says Tampana. Yeah, I think Meta is rejecting something. I just don't want to get involved in it right this second. WSM has been weak, very weak there. William Sonoma, I guess market participants saying William Sonoma. There they're saying putting the
market's dumping. Market's dumping. Market's dumping. Something happened there.
My Benzing has not been like.
Okay,
lately.
so big move down on the future, right down into 18.8, 11.50. What is happening? Okay, I'm looking. Apple. Let me have a look. Big move down on the market, guys. I still don't have a read on what's happening. Let me just check the economic calendar, make sure we're good on that front. Well, we just got bought up aggressively there. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. No, I still don't have anything. Also, it is worth noting, the Qs drop, everything drops, and Tesla doesn't. So like I said, I think it is still worth noting that Tesla is moving in the opposite direction of the market. We had that big move down, Nvidia, Meta, every other name in the Mag 7, but Google not reacting as much and Tesla reacting not at all. So just worth noting, not everything here is moving together. I was talking about that William Sonoma because that one initially had a nice move up on earnings and then gave up all of it and then some. Right now, we are down 6.5%. But ironically, as the rest of the market moves up, we get a really interesting hammer candle here at WSM around that 294. So the things could get interesting here. FN Lover, I believe was the name in the chat, was asking about Moderna. So yeah, I know Moderna was a great look. Oh yeah, okay, Moderna's up like double since the last time I looked at it. So great, okay. I have thoughts on Moderna. Okay, let's get into it. So yeah, Shreve always loves, because when I pull the chair back, that means you know I like a chart or I like something on a chart. And you guys know what I'm gonna like on this chart. This 157.30 to 158.40 range. I don't know if I want to take this range because my issue with stuff like this, it can resolve either direction. We're already at 10%. You could be like, how much higher could we go? But we don't know. Moderna could get another shot in the arm and have another, jump up 10%, right? But also look at these bullish candles here. We're bouncing. We're sitting pretty in the 90 EMA, having that wick down into 156.90 and pushing to the upside. Part of me almost kind of, I think if you go long, and when I say you, I mean me, like I almost said hypothermically. That's so you know I'm tired. Hypothetically, if you go long here, 157, where is this? You risk into that 157 area. I don't think that's a bad look, but I don't know. I want to see what this range does. That being said, I do think there is a range. I think this is a great look. FN, thank you for reminding us about this because I was looking at this one and I think I brought it up on the big desk. So this could be nice. Also, Meta was like, what short? I'm going to be right back to that Adara that I was level I was stressing Adara out at. So, I mean, good for you, Meta. The spread's getting bigger on this, though. We're talking 20, 30 pennies, so not anything I have any more moves on. FSLR also decided to break out. First Solar was like, I want to be the first name in solar. And I mean, maybe you are. A nice look. SunPower also had that Tesla catalyst with regards to that power wall. This one also up about 30%. So these, okay, I like this chop and turn as well, but I don't really have. This is not a name I feel really comfortable trading given the wildness with which it moves. A little bit down in the day after that L on NVDL and then that Meta move. But you know what? Always looking for more opportunities, always staying positive. Tesla could be interesting to me, and Nvidia's getting back near that level I like.
I like it.
You're in the zone.
I am in the zone, and I was just break even. So here's what happened. We got that big market move down, so Amazon came down. I have my stop already in place. It's going to break. If we break 69s, that's the end of the trade. But we were just above the 50. So I was like, okay, look, this candle is going to close hammer candle-ish. It's going to close above the 50. We're going to start curling, and I'm going to retire, right? But that didn't happen. It continued to move down. So my stop is in place. I'm 13 pennies out of the money on AMZN, but we did get bought up off these levels, so I'm leaving my stop at 69s, come what may. I'm looking to wet my beak at 184.10. We'll see what we get. I'm long 95, so I'm, about 5 pennies out of the money at the moment on it, as it just did move back up. I'm going to leave it to be, because Amazon was having a decent day and respecting the 50 until that big boy Huadunk came in on the future. Still don't have an idea why the future did what it just did. I'm looking quick up here at my blotter to make sure that no Fed speakers were dropping hot lines. And you know how much these Fed speakers love to move these markets. Oh, give them a platform. They will absolutely take it in a second. It's probably the hardest time for them emotionally when the blackout period comes. They can't like, affect the market.
Who will I talk to? My spouse? My kids? Like, who am I going to rant to the markets about?
Right? You got to love these Fed speakers. No, we're kidding. Tongue in cheek, obviously, right? But I'm looking. I still don't see anything here for that. So if we get anything, we'll shout it out. Now, before that whole thing happened, Michael Lloyd was telling me about a new small cap gapper. Not one that I keep my eye typically on because this one is trading at 7.5 pennies. But who cares? The chart pattern looks awesome. Shout out to Michael Lloyd for this. So this one closed out yesterday just a smidge below 6 pennies over here. So 5.89. It's at day's highs. This thing is moving. It's a good move here. GWAV. I don't really see a headline on it today. What did it do yesterday? So it's been selling off a little bit today, or selling off a little bit lately. So we'll keep an eye on this one. It's at day's highs right now. It's up 32.5%. Just printed another high there at 7.88 pennies. It's about to hit 8 pennies right now. As you can see, it's moving. It's moving decent. It's done 494 million shares on the day as well. It should. It's 7 pennies. So we're gonna have to, you're gonna have to size into this one in order to print anything. RSI at 80 here on the 5. So keep your eye out on that. I'm still out of the money on the Amazon trade. Now we're below the 50 on a closing, well, not on a closing basis. This candle closed right at the 50. Now we're below the 50 though. I'm gonna leave my out at 69s. I don't think the trade is valid anymore. This trade was based upon a 50 period hold and nothing else. And now that may not be the case anymore because of that big boy Huadunk we just got on said market. So if we get stopped out at 69s, that's what happens, but I'm leaving that in place. Meta, 20 period hold up, as we kind of suspected a little bit here. It's not holding to the T. As you can see, this candle broke below the 20 by about 25 pennies, but the closing print comes above that. Look for a possible Meta 20 period EMA on the 5 hold. You got it in the pre-market. You got it every single time there at 10 o'clock into 10:15. You got it again at 10:50, and we're right back again at the 20, holding 471.50 or so is where the 20 period EMA is on the 5-minute chart. Good look here for Meta. Let's see if it can curl back up.
Yeah, kind of kicking myself for Moderna. Well, I'm kicking myself for Meta too, mind you, but you gotta take turns kicking yourself on different names, right? You can't be beating yourself for one stock all day, right? But that 158.50 was such a good short, and I was like, now Moderna could go higher. Look at these topping tail candles, or these bottoming tail candles, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the range is back. I'm gonna have to play it. I don't love the spread here, mind you, but there is a clear range. I think if you give this about 50 pennies, because I want like $1, right? I think I can live with that. So we're gonna give this, okay, I'm okay with 60s, really small position. So just again, as Sean said on this Twitter that I really do relate to is, I'm gonna have to find this quote again, in order to make money, you must attempt ideas. And so if you have an idea you like, why not attempt it? That's what I say. Well, it's also what Sean said, but that's what I'm also gonna say. I do like this look, so let's see what happens here for Moderna. Hopefully it gets a shot in the arm to the upside here a little bit. But I'll play the range both directions, I think.
Getting vaccinated?
Pardon?
Huh? Is it getting vaccinated?
I guess so, yeah. Well, you had your CVX earlier.
Oh yeah, there's apparently a new variant of COVID. Get ready for this one. It's called FLIRT. Literally, F-L-I-R-T. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's just kind of funny. Like, I don't want to flirt with COVID. Like,
yeah, you don't want to flirt with danger. That's what you're literally.
And like, they shouldn't give them like nice names.
Like cute names, no, because it's
remember
not cute.
Omicron? What was the other one? Neil says that sounds like a character from like an evil villain or something like that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we digress.
We do digress. And Moderna right now is making progress, hopefully to the upside. What's everyone else looking at here? JPM long trimming, says Comp SRX. Yeah, JPM, Sean and I were talking about this in the market recap last 2 days because we had that investor day. Initially looked really good on Monday. Then we get some Jamie Dimon retirement earlier than expected type thing, and then we get a little bit of a move down. Yesterday, we made up a lot of those moves. That's a great, if that's where you got long off that bouncer, it's a great look there. Shout out to you, Comp SRX. And I like also, like, this area is actually kind of spicy. I don't think I'd trade this name for myself because I need to stare at it a little bit longer. But look at this 199 area. 199 problems for JPM. We get that move down. Look where we come back up. We flirt with it. And we're going to be probably heading to the downside. So I think that could be an interesting look there for JPM. Moderna falling, unfortunately, while I'm in it. So good times. This is initially started out my day, and then the day was like, oh, Adara, we can't let you have nice things. No, I'm joking. It's all about how you trade. It's all about what happens. And I'm not going to beat myself up too much on this because I really do want to come into this learning every day. Nice. And I think sometimes you do learn from more from the L's than you do from the W's, and it's about like why did the successful trades work, if they did work, right? So for me, it was just staring at levels like crazy and taking scalps. And this Moderna, I think maybe it was a short at the top of the range and not a long at the bottom. But you know what? You try it, and you do owe it to yourself to try trades you like. So that's what I'm trying to do. Right now, though, the market is making me owe it because we're going a little bit to the downside, but it's all good. Is your Zon long still good? I was all in.
Look, Adara, I'm not getting stopped out. That's the thing, but I'm having to constantly stay in this perpetual state of out of the moneyness.
Oh, that's not great.
Right? You know what I mean? Like I've got my out at 69s. It keeps coming into the 80s and 90s, making me feel like these bottoming tail candles are showing me that buyers are stepping in, and we're not getting the curl up into that 184. We're not even able to break above the 50 back on a closing basis. So I'm just come up May on this one. I've already put all my entries on it. So I'm just gonna pack my patience there. I have a new drip trade.
Well,
I might have stumbled onto something here. I have a new dip trade set up on the Meta. I'm looking for a bottom wick and then a possible pop. So I'm sitting at 471.25. Now I realize that 471.25 is about 25 pennies below the 20 period, and that is what my trade is predicated upon. Predicated upon a 20 period EMA hold on the 5-minute. But there is this propensity for Meta to do these large wicking candles below a key area of support. So I'm trying to take advantage of that and maybe get myself a much better entry. So I'm going to leave it where it is. But if this one closes below the 20 on a closing basis, then I'm not going to do the same mistake that I'm having to do right now with the Zon and have to nurse this out of the money. I don't want that. So looking for Meta, 471.25. It's predicated upon a 20 period EMA hold on the 5. We'll see what comes. Day trading Sing. Market is flat, awaiting Nvidia earnings report. Would you agree? Yeah. I mean, the market's not flat, right? It's up a little bit. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Point well taken. The market's holding its breath for what the AI monster may or may not bring to the table. Sebastian, you have a drip trade. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do drip trades in the future. Right now, they're just dip trades. The Piper, T-shirt. I'm in a state of out of the moneyness. Yes, I do like that. I'm in a perpetual state of out of the moneyness for a T-shirt. I don't think that's really the vibes I want to send out. No. Like, you know, like I'd rather be trading or I'm in the money, something like that. I don't know. But I don't want to be like out of the money shirts. It just makes me feel like I'm bitter about trading. You know what I mean? I'm constantly out of the money or whatever.
But I guess maybe, you know, it's kind of, I would find it relatable, you know? So
yeah, well, both of us. Anyway. Fugazi Bear, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Making bank on the Big Spy Lee put.
Big Spile, I think. It's like a Big Kyle pun.
Oh, Big Spile. Wow, you're really good at that. I didn't even notice.
I love it.
Remember, the trend is your friended, but reversion is mean. Oh, I like that.
That's okay. There's like 40,000 puns there, and I love all of them.
A whole lot of stuff there, Adair.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I swear, I was just really excited about the Fugazi Bear puns. Great look there. Moderna, I would want to say great look Moderna, but unfortunately Moderna's given me no reason to say that. I still think we're reverting, but the reason I stayed in this trade is because we had that bounce at 157.10, and I still didn't actively dislike the trade. I felt comfortable staying in it, but I also was just like, I think things are getting dicey. Right as I was about to be like, do I want to add at 157.10? Moderna's like, yeah, you don't get a choice. I'm going to go back up. I'm like, okay, Moderna, I understand.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? It was like very strict with me.
Kind of rude.
It was jabbing its finger in my face. pun intended. And so, but I noticed we got to like 157.80s on the bid here, and I was just like, that's where we're going to get out. I'm going to take this short. Now you might be like, Adair, if you want to take it short, why are you still in the long? Because I still think I can milk my tiny little amount of profits here, and I literally mean a scintilla of profit. It's a really small position. But I think we're curling here. I think the people who suggested this might be short in the chat, and I apologize, I forget who it was, but it was a couple people saying, could we be short at the top here at Moderna? I initially thought we could get a little bit more out of this range, and Moderna was like, But if I could take like whatever profit I can get out of here, again, because it's not a situation where I feel uncomfortable in the long. I still feel comfortable in the long for now. I just can tell that the tides are changing as I speak, and so I want to be prepared for that. I don't even want to say possibility. It's an eventuality. I don't even know if I'll get my 20 pennies, but I still feel okay enough with the possibility that that might happen that I'm staying in this. I recognize that this is, you know, maybe kind of a weird statement we got going on here, but you gotta do what you feel okay with. And right now, I do still feel okay-ish with this long. What else people looking at? AMC, says Harold. That's the whole message. Nothing more, nothing less. I like it. I like the brevity there. And AMC, let's see what's going on in AMP, or as Sean called it earlier today, advanced microcomputers, which I just had to give him a round of applause for, because that's so, I just love that so much. Okay, okay, AMC. It's not enough to give me a pushback on the chair moment, but I do think that 453 level is fascinating. Like, look at that resistance, support and resistance flip-flop at 453. I think given that we did have that double bottom here at 447 and a higher low, I think if we do something at 453, I think that could be, I almost said insightful, which is not the right word, but it could give you some insight into a potential push here, because I think that AMC 453 level, especially given the amount of chop and churn, will be something to look at. But you know what else is something to look at and something to listen to? Is Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
And his lesson of the day.
Welcome, your lesson of the day. This should be an obvious one. I knew like the moment this market opened and that reversal happened on Nvidia and it chopped myself up there, that I was gonna have to discuss this as the potential lesson of the day. And it's a bit of a two-parter, because the anatomy of a losing trade, and not all of them are gonna look the same, the anatomy of a loser is always gonna be different. The question becomes, did you follow your plan, and did you limit the losses to the best of your ability? It's all well and good to look at the P&L at the end of the day, say, hey, I'm down in the stock, worst losing stock of the day, of the week. It was a bad one, and then leave it at that. But that's, your work is not done at that point. Now, so I'm gonna give you two trades, very, very different. One followed plan halfway. The other one followed the plan, I'll give it like 1/3. So look, Nvidia, in terms of our pre-market preparation, I essentially was looking, it's like every $5 on dip. If you watched our pre-market show, you'd have heard me. That's pretty much all I said. You had a 945 in yesterday's trade. They're going into earnings today. There's a 950 level. That even held up in the afternoon as well as a key level. And then we closed and then held the pre-market, so post-market, sorry, at the 955. It was even a breakout $955 on this chart. Now, you're going to see a couple of exit points. One here off the 950, and then another one long at 950 with the pre-market low. So those are standard buy the dip in front of a key level, looking for that rubber band action. So no issues with that. However, there's one thing that's going to stand out. When you have a strategy, now some people like to blend the trades into, if I'm long into 45, blend them all into the same thing. I tend to not do that. If you watch live, it's like trade the one level, get out, trade the next level, get out. If there's a third one or another setup, then go to that level and make a separate trade. Make sure you're stopping out there, limit the losses, all that good stuff. But that one long off 55, sometimes you end up liking the dip too much. You end up liking the idea, so you get out in front of your level, you just don't take the tight stopped out. You're like, whatever, I'm gonna be adding to this thing down in the 50s anyways, and if it rockets up, we're gonna see 975 and 1,000 and all that good stuff. But it's this one mistake of just not following the plan. Just get out of this trade. You know, if each time you're risking $1.50 to a couple of bucks, that's the plan of action. Just get out of it, and then that way you're not holding this 3 times as much. So it goes from a situation where even if I lose all the way down, it's not worse than one good Nvidia trade on the breakouts that we'd had recently. It ends up being worse than that because of that one moment of, I call it overconfidence in the dip buy. Stick to your plan. If I'm going long off this level and waiting for the next, get out. let it try to make a move off the next level, doesn't do it, it pops downside. If I had observed it for another $5 down, the 940 obviously ends up holding, so I can't be too happy with that. Maybe we could have gone to it, but it's more about just adhering to that original stop. Like, that was the mistake. Now, the other style of losing trade that I want to go over is, well, what happens if you're right and you still lose? Well, I mean, it's never going to look good, and it didn't make top wick on AMD, so I don't get the prize for, hey, look, I had the worst out on AMD today. Somebody else got that. Yeah, who knows? Doesn't really matter. They're probably just as peeved. Sometimes it's going to happen to you. It does mean if you make top or bottom wick to a certain extent, you've picked the right level to trade off of, right? So you know, okay, well, I got it. You got it in good. It's kind of like going in there. Making a big bet in poker with a strong hand, but you didn't quite see it through. You didn't shove all in. You just kind of made the big bet. Then you ended up getting taken out of the hand when someone like re-raised you or whatever it might be. Like, that's what happens with a tight stop. But in trading, sometimes you get an opportunity to come right back in. You can't do it. You fold in poker, you're out. If it wicks me like this, I need to be faster. I know exactly what this setup looks like. If I'm taking a short, I'm just going to go quickly to the 15-minute chart. If I am taking a short off these rejections of the highs that we'd seen in AMD, then that is a trade which is valid short on the wick at 70. It's valid back through 169. What I've got to do in that situation is you're stopped out. The only thing I'm thinking about is, doesn't matter if you missed 170 up here. If that fails back underneath, you grit your teeth, and I actually punch short at a worse price. You know, getting back in here at 168.70, like 15, 20 cents underneath where I have it, it might not feel good because you're always anchored to the price you traded at. Meaning I get in here and I'm out here, so in the back of my mind, if I'm going short again, I got to be short up here because what the heck, I just punched out at 169.32 for a 50-cent loss. What the heck am I doing getting back in after a losing trade at a worse price? Well, what you're doing is following your plan. That's a rejection of the 169 level. I've got to take that again, take that short. If it loses, fair enough, and then I can wait around and take the 170 trade. You know, nothing risked, nothing gained. Sometimes a losing trade is a re-entry based on your trading parameters and your setups, and sometimes it's a re-entry right after. The market doesn't care how you feel about it. It's just going to show you that big move, and at 9:30 or in the first 10 minutes of the day, you've got to be quick. It's not like I was trading something else in the moment. I don't really have the excuse. I was basically in two names. It was just Nvidia and AMD off that open, and we had the plan of action level 2 set up. So it is a mistake losing, but it's a bigger mistake not getting back into the level. Losing trades are going to happen. I know, I shouldn't even call it. It's not a mistake losing on the trade. It wicked out. It's a mistake not getting back into it. Now later on, and just to double down on this for a second, you might ask, why wasn't I short back in here when it got to this 75 level again? Well, the simple answer would be, it's upward trending now. You know, it's a very different story when I like that off the big level and it shows me the bottom, it goes all the way back into the breakout price, then puts in a higher low into the same level and then breaks out the top. So maybe I'll be taking that trade here thinking, okay, well, it's the same level we liked before. But hang on a second. Nvidia was holding under VWAP and trending down in that moment, like trending down, and AMD is trending up. And I don't like fighting trend when it's been established, unless it's at a gigantic level. So when it's trending to the upside, my thought isn't short it at 168.75. My thought is let it run the highs again and short at the best levels because it's showing you trend into the upside. So yeah, later on, if I'm aggressive, it works, but I think the setup is trending the other way, so that requires patience in my estimation. I don't like fighting that trend. The real story is, over on Nvidia, just to quickly recap the anatomy of a losing trade, if you have a strategy to go from level to level, take the stop out and then trade the next level. You know, and then wait for your next opportunity. Don't blend one trade into another. People say all the time, do not turn a swing trade into an investment. Don't take a trade, support and resistance, and just go long in front of one support level and then hold that long to the next support level, and then hold that long to the next support level. That can lead to disaster. Be willing to take multiple swings. That's what trading's all about. And then the other part of it, If you lose on a trade and it sets right back up, and that's it's an A+ setup for you, you got to get back into the trade. Market doesn't care that you just took a hit. It's just providing you the opportunity to get it back, and you've got to take it. So that's your lesson of the day. The anatomy of a loser isn't going to always look at the same. You've got to make sure you analyze it properly, so going forward, you can limit the loss and also get that money back when it prevents itself.
Thank you very much, Neil. Neil Roberts, everybody, every day. Neil Roberts, everybody. Neil, thank you very much for the lesson of the day. Eloquent, awesome, and informative always. As always, Neil Roberts, every day. Neil's lesson of the day around noon. Make sure to catch that. All right, while Neil was dropping hot lines, I was able to scalp a little bit here on META on a quick 20-period bounce, but as you'll see, look at it, came right back down. So this is telling me that this 20-period love affair between Meta and the 20-period on the 5 is over. It is over, so now I'm going to be looking at different areas of technical support, whether it's that 470.50 at the volume weighted average price, or it's a key price level like this trough that I put over here at 470. So packing my patience. Meta, one of the strongest names in Mag, well, the strongest name out of the Mag 7 today, up 1 1/3. We'll be looking to take that monster along. The one that I'm really running out of patience with, and you'll probably be able to guess already, AMZN. I was telling Adair while Neil was doing the lesson of the day that it was straddling, using the 50 period as a level of support over here, and over here. Now it's kind of showing me the opposite. How many times have we talked about support flipping to resistance? It kind of looks like it's doing that. But then it gives me this intermediary area, a little bit above the 50, a little bit below. It closes the first candle here above the 50 since this 11:45 candle. So I'm unsure. I can get out here, break even, but I'm greedy, right? So I want to wait until I'm not greedy. I just don't want to be annoyed when it pops and I'm not involved. That's really the thing, right? So I'm waiting for a VWAP retracement. I haven't even gotten a 184 break. Best it's done on this candle is 97s. It can't even break the whole dollar level. So decisions to be made, get out, break even here, or pack your patience and try to get something at VWAP. So that's the dilemma I'm facing at the moment on AMZN. No other trades that I've got at the moment, but I do like this possible 20-period retracement on the Cybertruck. This is the 20-period, the yellow solid line on my chart. This is the 5-minute chart, and every time we have moved into the 20 today on Tesla, it has rejected. So I want to see what it does at this 181 level. It's a good look, and it was also using 181 as price action support earlier. So from around, say, 940 till we broke down here at 1110, 181 was where Tesla, the wick bottoms were coming in on Tesla and then bouncing back up. So it's a key technical area of support. Does it flip to resistance? Adding to that, the 20-period exponential off which it's been rejecting. So I like a possible Tesla short at 181, the 20-period EMA on the 5. Amazon right back down into the mid-70s, making me lament not having gotten out break even. I just know this trade is not going to work out, but I'm going to leave it. I'm so stubborn. What are you doing? What are you looking at?
Yeah, so I'm on Nvidia, and you could also call me stubborn because I do still like that level. But however, that's really redundant. But however, either you could use but or however. Either way, what I was looking every time I see us get to that 948.50, I pull up the book, and I was noticing we were really struggling with that 948.50 area. I was like, cool, great, fantastic, go short. For a second, it looked like this was working out. And I was going to risk it. I risked about $1. I ended up losing a little bit more than that just because with the spread, I wasn't able to get out right away. But it's all good. Got out as I saw that vicious break up into 949, and it really took its sweet time. Like I said, literally the only level I'm looking at Nvidia today is 948 to 948.50, and that's worked out so far, so I'm not going to stray from that plan. Again, slightly down on the day still, but you know what? That's how it goes. And you really aren't going to win anything unless you risk. And if you're risking on ideas you like, why not? I wrote this to myself in my little my off-brand sticky note, which is my tickers to look at document. Conviction isn't just a Law and Order show. It's an important aspect of trading. If you believe in yourself and your trades, you're more likely to trade to the best of your abilities. Does it sound like it's on a Hallmark card? Oh, sure. But it's also, what I wrote to myself today, because I think if I'm going to, commit to looking at these levels, having these ideas, I think you really have to commit to that. So hopefully everyone's having a great morning so far. This has been a really fun day to trade. Nvidia also getting these higher highs and higher lows, so should have been more cognizant of that in the short, especially taking it above VWAP, but it happened, and you just got to keep going. I also want to shout out Moderna because, oh my gosh, I was laughing to Sharif, I took 20 pennies on this, and I was like, oh yeah, just casually leaving this, then we pop up. But I stand by this trade.
Yes.
Thank you to Sharif as well for talking to me off camera about this, because I was a little bit like down in the dumps myself about this. I got out because we were really struggling with that 158 area. And I was like, you know what, Adara, take your licks, take your pennies, and get out. And Moderna was like, hey. So you know what, shout out to anybody in this long. It's a fantastic look, and I'm still happy I called out the setup. Like, did I execute the trade properly? Maybe not, but I did take some profit. And I learned from this. It's like, Adara, if you like an idea and you're still actually seeing higher lows in the book, which we were, maybe don't, be so aggressively hard on yourself. But yeah, good look there. Congrats to anybody in that, because it's a great look. The Q's getting maybe a bit oh, I just pulled up the TQs. I'll pull up their older brother, the Q's. But yeah, a little bit of a lopsided head and shoulders, maybe. Perhaps. I don't want to call anything, especially because we have had higher lows. But this lower high, especially around where we had that other drop there at 456, could get a little bit spicy. Tesla also trying to turn a little bit here as well. One last one I'm looking at. I don't have any levels on this. That 181 was actually, no, I do have a level on this. It's 181. What am I saying? I just said I have no levels on this. I was like, Adara, where'd you go short? Where did we keep projecting off of? Where was previous support? 181. I do like 181. I will continue to be watching 181 to see what we do there. And you are in two trades.
I did. I got in NVDL because NVDA broke through 950 and got into 951s. It was a local top there, so I said maybe the winds of change are coming. But maybe that's what happens when you get into trade haphazardly like that. Anyway, it did make a new high there, but I failed at charting. This candle here at 10:05 shows me that there is a key technical level price action resistance at this 952 area, so I may get stopped out here on NVDL. I've already put my stop in place, so come what may. We'll see exactly what we get here, but this was the reason I got in. It was a 950 break. I said, okay, we know we could curl maybe into 953, 954. Yesterday's closing print, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, still out of the money on Amazon. Amazon, it's not triggering me out. That's the thing, though. It's not coming into my stop. I'm just going to leave it. The stops are at 69. There's nothing else to do there. I'm still looking at this Tesla trade. So this Tesla 20-period retracement was awfully interesting, but we are accumulating a lot at this 181 area. So I'm worried for a breakout trade possibly here at 181. Again, it's the 20-period and the price action support that we had earlier all morning, essentially from 9:35 till 11:10 when we broke it. Everything really had either closed or wicked off 181. You can kind of see that there with Tesla. But right now, doing the dance with 181. If you took the initial scalp play off 181, you were able to take a couple of pennies off that, maybe 40 pennies or something down into the 60s there on TSLA. Let's see what we're doing here. Still out of the money on the Zon, but we're still above my stop. NVDL, I'm like 3 pennies out of the money right now, waiting for whatever happens here on NVDA. Obviously, the whole theory is Nvidia, is going to consolidate a little bit until earnings come out. And I think that that's a fair theory to keep in mind, but I was just trading the price action. Anyway, 952 seems to be a local resistance level here on NVDA as we make our way up there again and do find a little bit of resistance. So keeping an eye on that. No trades for me on these small caps at the moment. Let's bring them in and have a look at what's moving. Okay, so maybe we should be definitely trading these small caps because they're looking a lot better than these large cappers. Remember, on the day. Wow, look at this. Everything up and to the right. There is not one of these that's below VWAP. Well, okay, CVAC. It's at VWAP right now on my chart. Everything else, including SPWR, which is a solar name and not a small cap gapper, is to the upside. Frey bounced off VWAP. IGMS making its way down into VWAP right now. SPWR hasn't even touched VWAP, nor has MAXN. MAX has been in a love affair with the 20 here. Look at all these bounces off the 20. So all these small cap gappers today looking awfully good, a little bit better than the big tech names that we typically trade on these here markets, Adara. So NVDL did make its way up into 43.50, where I was looking to wet my beak on some profits. Alas, that $0.50 level did have some size, and so it didn't cross, so I didn't get printed. Let's see if it makes its way. A little bit of volatility now as NVDA definitely has some resistance waiting for it at 9.52, owing to that candle that we put in at 10.05, Adara.
Yeah, I got into this Tesla 181 short, and I say it with that amount of skepticism because I don't know. We had that rounded bottom, but I watched the book we were projecting, and I've been using the book a lot more in my trade, specifically for things that like to go run like little mice, like Tesla and Nvidia, because the book gives you a level of, hey, or an idea of what levels are hanging out, what levels are we looking at. So that's something I'm watching out for. Another short I want is PDD. PDD is my best name of the day. I was super proud of what I did with this long earlier, I'm not gonna lie. But I showed it to Tampanda saying this one is probably a short. I agree, like longer term, it's definitely, I think, is a short. And what level would I get short at, do you ask? Maybe you didn't, but if you do, 147.98, AKA 148. Why? I mean, I'll tell you, it's that 9 EMA 148 that we keep rejecting at, right? I tried to get involved, and PDD was like, no. I was like, okay. But yeah, showed it as well to Quantran. It was like, you like the 198 level, execute. And I was like, okay. It was a pretty intense message there, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the motivation. But this is now we're kind of coming into where I was initially more hesitant in my execution, is that we do have that rounded bottom. I'm gonna have to scalp out of this earlier, that's fine by me. I do appreciate the motivation there in the chat, much appreciated. And Tesla's like, yeah, but like I would appreciate having a rounded bottom. I'm like, hey Tesla, way to use my own words against me, okay? Like, anyways, I'll stop talking to stocks. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna start the lesson. I've already put my stops on my profit takers on both these trades. It looks like I'm getting a lot closer to getting stopped out of AMZN, as that one now is making lower highs and lower lows at the level. So sad about that. I think I had the right idea there. Should have gotten out of it when I was break even, but that's neither here nor there. Let's start the lesson du jour, baby. All right, so here we go. I'll put that one up on the side chart so I can keep an eye on it. Oh, where am I doing with, 1 second guys, I just have to load up everything here. Yeah, so just keeping my eye on NVDL. All right guys, we're talking about the measured move all week long. We're talking about spotting higher probability breakouts with the measured move. So breakouts can be exciting opportunities in intraday trading, but pinpointing higher probability ones can be a little bit risky, or tricky, I should say. This lesson explores how the measured move can help you identify these breakouts with greater confidence. So let's get right to it, baby. The measured move explained. Again, we already talked about the basics of the measured move on Monday, so if this kind of quick explanation doesn't suffice for you, go back to our YouTube homepage and type in measured move, or just go back to the video on Monday and it'll be all there. Okay? But a measured move essentially is a concept that relates price movement to volume. It puts the two together and it looks to analyze them through that lens, price and volume. It's suggesting to you that the size of a breakout, the price move essentially, is often proportional to the preceding trading volume. So what we're looking for, and what I'll explain in the coming steps here, is you're looking at the volume before that key area breakout. And you should know the breakout areas or the possibility of breakout areas by charting support and resistance. And that's what we're talking about right here. So identifying these breakout levels is step number one. And you need to chart the key areas of support and resistance. So I did get stopped out of NVDL there, I see that. Just make sure my Amazon thing is going okay. Oh, no, I should be getting stopped out of Amazon right now too, and the fact that I'm not makes me feel like it's not...
You can take over if you need.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's not respecting my stop because I did have a script there, and it's supposed to trigger. Wow, okay. Well, good thing I didn't get stopped out because it's popping right back up here. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so, sorry to interrupt said lesson. Actually, I'm just gonna flatten out here because I don't have to deal with this when I'm doing the lesson. There we go. So, identifying the breakout levels. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna chart those key areas of support and resistance. So identify key areas of support and resistance, levels on the chart. These are areas where the price has historically bounced off, creating temporary barriers. But you also want to do a volume analysis, right? You're going to observe the volume activity around these levels. You're going to look for a surge in volume preceding a price move towards the support and resistance. Again, it's the move preceding. What is happening with my Amazon?
What's happening with that yelling?
I know. It's okay.
I love all the energy.
I don't know what the hell it's not letting me out of Amazon for. The flatten key not working?
What?
Okay, so we got to sell. There we go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The script didn't work and the flatten key didn't work. Everything was working great there,
I think Amazon
Dara.
should apologize in your
I don't think it's Amazon that should be apologizing. All right, so the measured move in action. So you're going to be looking for the breakout on high volume. If a price decisively breaks through a key area of support and resistance level accompanied by high volume, this could be a breakout signal. But you're not just looking for that. You're looking to project the move as well. So here's where the measured move really shines. This is a little bit convoluted, so that's why I put it up on the screen. You're going to take the distance between the support and the resistance level and the breakout point. So where are you trading right now, right? And where is the breakout point? Project this distance in the breakout direction to estimate a potential price target. So for example, if the breakout is upwards, you're going to add $2 to that price target, depending on really what that is. So you can screenshot that if you're like. So why does this matter? Well, confirmation with volume is one of the more important things. High volume preceding a breakout suggests increased buying or selling pressure, potentially pushing the price further in the breakout direction. But the measured target is equally as important. The projected price target based on measured move, holy, it's really loud, gives you a realistic estimate of where the price might reach, helping you set profits. All right. This is a graphic showing basically the move up with volume, and so you're looking at the volume to precede the breakout point. So that's the idea here. We're looking for volume analysis before the breakout point. Some important considerations to keep in mind: not all breakouts with volume are successful. The price can sometimes fake a breakout in reverse. For that, use additional confirmation signals like moving averages or price patterns to strengthen your conviction. But the market context, equally as important, right? Consider the overall market sentiment. A strong breakout during bullish trend is more likely to follow through compared to a breakout during a consolidation phase. So how are you going to put it all together? Step one, you're going to identify key areas of support and resistance, and you're going to look for the high volume activity around those levels. That's step one. Step two, you're going to look for a decisive break with volume confirmation. And step three, you're going to project the measured move distance or estimate a potential profit target using the formula that I just gave you. And then step four, you're going to combine the measured move technique with other technical indicators and make sure that it coalesces with the market context for a more robust trading setup, Adara. And remember, the measured move is just a tool, is not a guarantee. Make sure that you're backtesting your strategies based on real market data. If that means you're trading in the sim, that means you're trading in the sim. So make sure you get that all sorted out there, Adara.
Yeah, I was going to shout out the sim. No shame in the sim. The sim helped me figure out what worked for me. And then when I was initially not doing great going live, it was just kind of because, I wasn't trading how you trade in the sim, right? So sim's like good for like giving you those reps so then you can go run a marathon or be in the Olympics or whatever. That analogy got away from me, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, also I say that like now I'm magically trading better, but not. We take time, we figure things out. Also, so Tesla. So I got out of this trade because I realized a lot of why I got in it was because I wanted to prove something. And I wanted to prove this 181 level was a level I liked. And it is a level I like, mind you, but I wasn't feeling good about it. And I said, Adara, you can't take things because of some weird emotional cavern. You have to, I don't know why I went all deep there. You have to take things because of levels you like. I did like that 181 short, but I didn't like the way that we kind of looked like we were curling up. Now it looks like the short would have been valid, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. I did profit on it, no complaints. Pretty flat right now on Moderna, and I want to explain this trade. Because you might be like, oh, but Adara, I thought you were just having this weird thing with the Moderna where you were all upset. You missed that big pop up. Yeah, I was. And I want to be clear. I don't think this is a revenge trade. And I know it doesn't matter what I think, but I did love, and you can't really see it, so I'll zoom in. Look at this wick down here to the bottom of that range, and we come right back up. This range is still valid. I still think this is valid. I don't think I'm going to get that whole move up, mind you, which is why I'm only taking to the top of that previous range, 158.60s. We did break a little bit below 158, but we bounced right back. Not with a viciousness, but we bounced right back pretty nicely. So no complaints there, no qualms. The one thing I do have qualms about are all of these kind of bearish looking wicks, but what I'm seeing on the book is a nice hold of the 158. What I'm seeing in the book is actually kind of similar to what I saw initially in this long. Of course, that long didn't work out well for me, but had a nice pop up there. So again, shout out to anybody long this name. Great look on Moderna. And Moderna, if you want to get that jab to the upside, this time while I'm in the trade and not after, I greatly appreciate it. Couple pennies in the money here. M to the R to the N to the A. Yay, 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 yay. Maybe I cheer pom-poms up. What are you looking at?
I just started looking at ENVX because this one is a good small cap gapper. I don't like the look of these markets at the moment. Everything's awfully bearish. I guess I could go short, but that wasn't my setup. So I'm looking at these small cap gappers, and ENVX has also had a bit of a love affair with that 20 period. So I'm looking there. I'm looking for a possible dip at 1105. It's held up initially, but this time, yes, a newer low. So something to be cognizant of here on ENVX for possible breakdown of those levels. I happen to like that $11 area as well. So if I was to get long 1105, I wouldn't give it too much room. I'd give it a little bit below 11 bucks. Reason being because $11 was a price action top. That was until it got broken at 1120. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my trade on the ENVX for an 05 dip, and I may not have to wait long for that, baby, because we are at 05s right now, it looks like. So if it crosses to the other side, now I am long, so let's go ahead and put it at 1097, and that is where I'll be looking to get out there. It's going to have to hold up at, it's going to have to hold up at 10. So that's what we're going to, or sorry, excuse me, 11, because that is a price action support that I like. Where is the profit taker, though? Let's see. What was the consolidation area top here? 14s seems to be an interesting top. So I'm going to go ahead and hang out at 14s, see if we can get something in and around that level. I don't know why it didn't show me this. There it is. Okay, awesome. So do I have two orders right now, or what's going on over there? No, it's just one. Good. So we're going to have to hold up above 11 bucks for me to stay in this trade. Long ENVX. Let's see what this 20 period does. It's not the only one in small cap gapper world that's had a decent move today with the 20 period. As you'll be able to see here, this one, MAXN, has also had that same kind of dalliance with the 20 period. You'll see at 1120 bounced off, then here between 12 and at 1210 it was doing a bit of a 20 period retracement, all of which it defended and printed newer highs. 355 the high on MAXN right now. We'll see what we get there. Not much else other than just keeping an eye on these small cap gappers for some longs. CVAC has broken down now below VWAP and $4. So this one no longer tradable under my small cap system. It did the dance there with VWAP for a while, but it looks like the bears won there. And now it's at the 50 period breaking down below 4. CVAC up 18.84%, but we'll see how long that lasts for because it looks like it might be headed down. IGMS also possible dip trades here off the WAP, 1130. It keeps dropping these wicking candles off VWAP there and then bounces right back up. It's not really becoming directional anymore. It's awfully consolidative, especially since around maybe say 11 or so. The high, 1231, printed that around 1120. But since that time, we've been kind of very, very, very sideways. So we'll see if we get anything in and around that level. The one that I'm in right now, ENVX, though, looking for that to hold the 20 period, looking to wet my beak at around 14s, $11.14. We'll see if we can bounce up off this level here.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what Moderna's doing. We're all good. No, we're not. But I took, no, I'm joking. I took slightly larger shares with this. And again, like very much within my parameters. So like nothing huge, but bigger than the last position I took on this. Because I did like this level. I was like, we're holding so beautifully. Like, oh, take it to the top of the previous range. Ooh. Nice look. I want to see us bounce off this 40-50 area, and I think Moderna's not going to give it to me. But then again, it's kind of doing the same thing on the book that it did last time that chopped me out. So what it's doing is it's faking you out. It's like, I'm going to drop low. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to go back to the upside. Oh, I'll drop low. No, I'm not. So I don't want to let it play these games with me again. Now, am I aware of the cognizant bias inherent in what I just said? Oh, yeah. Oh, I am. So that's why I'm also trying to make sure my bias isn't coming in too much. It's also doing this thing where the spread has gotten much wider. So when I first got in here, we had a max like maybe 20 penny spread. Now that spread is widening to like 30, 40 pennies. Sometimes you see that widening of the spread, there's going to be some kind of breakout or breakdown. Based on what we're doing here near the bottom of the range, this could be a breakdown. So I want to be cognizant of that, but I don't want to force myself out of this just because I'm scared. Because as long as we're bouncing off the bottom of this range, what reason do I have to leave? No reason. Was my entry point in this great? Arguably no. And you would probably be arguing correctly. But I did like it because we did have that little bounce there, right? I'm considering adding to this if we see something nice around 157.60s. Why 157.60s? That was just a nice area we were holding up earlier. I'm not sure if this trade is going to go according to plan, but you do have to attempt things if you see what you like. PDD being, a little bit PD deceptive over here. We had that short I liked at 148, wasn't able to get in, and that short was actually giving you about 50 pennies, so nice look. Then it's like, oh, I can flip support resistance at Dara. That's what I do. So I was like, okay, PDD, do your thing. PD, do your thing. So this was initially support. I got long support. Then it became resistance. I wanted to get short resistance. PDD was like, not so fast. You're going to have to go stare at Moderna for another 20 minutes. And I was like, okay. But now it looks like we are kind of curling back. I want to see what we do at 148. I don't want to rush into this, but I think we're at some kind of decision point, some kind of tipping point. And whatever we tip, I would like to be looking for a potential dip or a rip. Tesla, chopping and churning, nothing on this. Still okay with where I got out of that short because I just wasn't feeling comfortable in it anymore, and I think that means something. But if we do see that bounce off 181, that is where I would like to get in. And Moderna, like, if you want to make a jab to the upside, like, just let me know. I feel like how you were feeling in Amazon. I have no reason to leave from a cognitive standpoint. Yeah. But like, man, if it wants to do this is how I feel every time I'm in an Apple trade. Because Apple just sits, I'm not gonna lie.
So true.
No matter how much you like to set up an Apple, you're not gonna like waiting for that thing to come to fruition in Apple. How actually I say, I'm over here dissing Apple. But look, it's kind of getting the Steve Jobs done over here with this 90 MA rejection. A little bit of support around 191.66, a little bit of resistance around 191.66. I am very busy dealing with Moderna and trying not to get shot in the arm with this Moderna trade. But that Apple rejection, not bad once I deal with Moderna.
All right, just want to remind you guys that we have a 20-year bond auction at 1 o'clock. It is one of the ones that's most followed, the 30-year, the 2-year, the 5, the 20, and the 10. Well, I just basically listed all of them. TLT, if you want to trade this, that is the ETF, I believe. TLT, yeah, iShares 20-year plus Treasury. At least that's how I'd look to play this one. I don't typically trade the auctions. We, obviously we get some sort of market reaction, so that's kind of the way that I do it. But keep your eye out or get ready for 1 o'clock as we could have some market moving events with that 20-year note. Now, it's kind of, a hit and miss. There was a period in time where these auctions really moved the markets. There are some bond auctions that move the market more than others. So we'll, the 30-year, the 10-year, also important ones as well. We'll see what the 20-year brings today. It's about 18 minutes from now. And I think it's important, right? Because we'll see exactly how much interest there still is amongst, the international players to buy up U.S. bonds, right? U.S. Treasuries. That is, one of the ways that they raise money. Taxation, obviously, the other one. So we'll be all ears and eyes on that. I'm still waiting for this ENVX to do something here. I have a beak wetter set up, Ram, at $11.10 for a quick pop. Then we'll look for a continued move up. It did make its way up into 11.10, but only on the ask, didn't cross on the bid. And that has prevented me from printing. So I want to look quickly here at TSLA. I should have been all over this. This is my mistake. This 20 period 181 rejection absolutely came into play well. We called this one out earlier, didn't take it. 181 was a price action support earlier, essentially from the open all the way until 1105. Then it gave up the ghost there and started using 181 as resistance. Also, you could make the argument it's been hovering below the 20 period. It's at lows right now, just printed new low a day, 180.25. Keep your eye out. Goes without saying at 180. It is a bit of a recycled level though, to be quite honest with you, because we've been interacting with 180 a lot more, a little bit above, a little bit below. Just have a look at the daily chart and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. 13 pennies off that whole $10 level, 180.13 now, low of day on Tesla. So nice rejection off that 181. Not really, you know, opening print kind of drop, but definitely definitely a nice move down. So it just did print 07s, and then as quickly as it printed 07s, it went right back into the 20s, showing you that there was somebody who was interested there at the 180 level on TSLA. So keep your eye out on that. It's been doing the rejection off the 20 and off 181 essentially all morning. So what else we got here? We're back break even now on ENVX. Nothing doing there. IGMS still doing the same thing. Can't really trade that. The volume is really dropping off. Okay, so Amazon was in love with the 50. It has now moved on to greener pastures or bluer pastures here because my 200 EMA is a blue line, and that's where it seems to be bouncing off at the moment. It comes right back into that 183 1/3, which was not an area that I had charted. Oh, actually, it was the IB low. Is that the IB low? Yeah, you could make the argument that was the IB low. 183 1/3 is where we printed right at 920. That's a 925 candle, but I think that was right before the bell. And we held up at that level. It's also the 200 period on the 5 here. We'll see if Amazon can start curling. Meta definitely got a bounce off that 470. It comes into 470 or the 50 period, bounces back up. It's trying to break above 471 right now on META. It's been the most... It's been the strongest, I should say, MAG 7 name on the day, but it's also in a bit of a downtrend at the moment. As look, the Fuge hasn't done anything here. The Fuge is at VWAP. We are up 0.07% on the Fuge, so it's done not a whole lot. Tesla now into 180, so now technical, the low on the day, I mean, is 180.01. Looking for a possible bump up here at 180. We're going to keep eyes on TSLA to see what it does.
Yeah, I thought I was going to break my losing trading winning streak today. Or that was not English. That was really what I was trying to do here. And you really need to get out of Moderna. This is getting very dicey. Got out. So yeah, basically, oh, I'm still in this. Am I out? No, I'm still in this. Okay. Good times. No, I'm being very sarcastic. This is not, these are bad times. Yeah, basically the issue with this is just, yeah, this Moderna, worst name of the day. I really did like the short when I flipped short. I didn't think it was a bad look.
Market tanked again, Adair.
Oh,
18.8.
it did.
Yep.
Okay, well, look at, yeah, massive move down in the market. Wow. Wow, yeah, that's falling below that previous support. Jeez. Yeah, I just, man, this has just not been my day. Not been my week. Not been my year. No, I'm joking. But yeah, this is just, honestly, sometimes things happen. You're just like, I was having a good day so far. And then I went long Moderna. I liked Moderna. I liked the long. I did like it. Okay. Then I was probably a little too committed to it. I'm going to be really honest. Then I flipped short because I did like that we failed that critical area. I said we could be turning to the downside. And I get involved in the short, and then Moderna pops about $1. It just popped as the market drops. So I was like, you know what, things don't go as planned. I might have to, I don't know if I'm going to have to switch the sim to a bit or not. I'm not shut down, but again, we're very near that point. It gets a little bit discouraging, but in the words of Cyndi Lauper, don't be discouraged.
Good. Let
your true colors shine through. Although, you know, you can't trade if you don't have risk, so that's where things get kind of dicey. But yeah, obviously super disappointed in myself, but pamp for Sharif and pamp these markets. If there's something I like, I will still take a trade. But yeah, I'm not going to lie and be like, that wasn't a little bit disheartening. But it's all good. It's what happens. And I might, yeah, legitimately, if I want to take any more trades today, I'm probably going to have to switch to the sim just because that Moderna was definitely, instead of shooting me in the arm, shot me in the face and then mugged me and then took my ATM card and spent some money at GoYard and Birkin. Not that I could afford that with my ATM card, but that's what the market did to me today. But good times. Just keep going. Yeah, Adrian, I appreciate that with the Tesla short. I think that would have been a good idea, but I'm going to be honest, I just can't hold. And that would not have been the right plan for me personally. Like, I appreciate what, and thank you so much. Like, I don't think the ideas are bad. I think it's the execution. But I know the more we saw that 181 like teetering, I would have freaked out and I just would have gotten out anyway. And maybe the holding is the plan, but I find when I've tried to do these hold strategies, I paper hand like crazy. So I know something needs to change. I don't know what needs to change, but I'm starting with the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways. And that hasn't worked the last couple of times I've done it, but maybe it'll work this time. Thank you, Adrian, though. I do appreciate the support. I just need to find a way to figure things out for me, and whatever it's doing is not today. Yeah, good times.
I'm long the future. I'm looking for an 18.8 defender. It's going to be a scalp style trade. I'm looking for a drop into 18.8 and a quick pop up. We get it. We don't. The stop is already in play. Let's see if we get this 18.8 dance on the future. So I took the TQQs, not the MNQ or the NQ, but it's definitely having trouble with 18.8 right now. This is just a quick scalp. I'm not looking to defend such level or on a longer term basis, but you come into that 18.8, so 100-point level. We dipped into it at 1050. We bounced up again. So that's just the whole idea here is to be able to maybe scalp some pennies or dollars off the market. So we're going to see exactly how this one does. The TQQ's at exactly. Well, TQQ is up 0.05, but the NQ June contract at exactly 0.00%. It is at yesterday's price right now, which was exactly 2 points below 18.8. So if that's foreshadowing anything here that we're going to give up the ghost at 18.8, we shall see. Or 18.8 is a key area of resistance is what I kind of meant to say there, lacking a whole bunch of eloquence. So break even right now on the TQQs as the market is absolutely sideways at 18.8, deciding which way it wants to go. Let's go back and have a look at this trade that's draining all my energy. ENVX doing bub kiss, and the volume is equally as bub kiss. I just want to flatten out here and get out of this trade, but the stop is in play, the profit taker is in play. Let us just go. But these small cap gappers, they're not going to move up without volume. So that's kind of, the dilemma I'm having here in my head. If there's no volume to support the move up, why are you in the dang trade? And that's kind of what I'm asking myself at the moment. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't really expect an answer from anybody. That's the look there. So we're going to pack our patience with this future trade that we're 1 penny out of the money on right now, and this ENVX trade that we're 1 penny in the money on right now. So that's the look there.
Yeah, I think
giving up the ghost. I'm going to get stopped out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I thank you guys so much for the chat, the support in chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a little Debbie Downer about it, but you have to be honest when things are just like not working, and it's because you're not trading to the best of your abilities. So is what it is. Right now, I am still live. If I see something I like, I will probably go after it. But honestly, I literally have no risk left. So we'll probably be switching to the SIM. I want to see, I'm not doing anything into this bond auction in 8 minutes because I do not trust the bond auctions. They can make moves. I am, though. I should have taken this Rivian because I just pulled a Rivian out of curiosity. I was like, will we go short? If I'd taken that short, it would have worked out. But I just didn't have the confidence in it. And I also didn't want to take a trade in some kind of weird P&L flex to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make up for what just happened. Like, ooh, caveman. I don't know what I'm saying. But that's what I didn't want to do that. So that's why I didn't take the long or the short, which actually would have worked out. I also do want to shout out Adrian here. Finance is a drama queen. Yeah, I mean, the markets are very dramatic. They do love to be giving you something in 1 minute and the next minute be like, I don't have to give you that level, right? You guys, know that. Just because you charted it, just because it respected earlier doesn't mean I owe you anything. So I was like, that's what the markets do. And you just got to respect that, got to work with it. And yeah, I do. I mean, a little bit, yeah, this Tesla short would have worked out. So I probably should have held that. But thank you, Quantran. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everybody in the chat for the support in that one, because that's kind of what you need to do. I don't know why I got so married to Moderna, and I think actually, I kind of do. I think some of it was I was a little sour at myself for not holding that long earlier. But it's like it happened. It's all good in the hood. Tried things. Did they work? Not at all. Did we like the idea? Sure. So yeah, I think the one idea I am still really interested in is that PDD 148, which is just what I should have been sticking with. If there's something I like, I might take it, but not trying to force anything. Currently still live right now, but yeah, I'll let you guys know if I end up, because if I do want to make any trades, I almost definitely have to switch to the SIM.
I gotcha. Back in the future. Here cruising for a bruising, I guess, right? We'll see if we get printed. 62 showing up. I'm looking to wet my beak at 62s, but it's not crossing on that 18.8 retracement here. We'll see if it can continue up. We just need to cross by 1 penny, dang it. Come on, there we go. Now we get the move nicely here on the future. So I'm long, where am I long? 55s, printing 63s. Let's see if we can continue to move up on this 18.8 retracement. I saw everybody was saying 18.8 gave way. You guys aren't wrong. It did give way, but it's putting one hell of a hammer candle in now. So if it holds up at said levels, I'll be pleased as, you know it, dang punch.
Dang, sorry.
There you go. All right, back into the money on ENVX. I'm looking to wet my beak. Bro, cross. How long do you want me to wait for? I've been waiting, Neil. 11:10 is, well, look, as he was looking at the screen, he's like, what is this guy complaining about? 11:10 is where I'm looking to wet my beak on ENVX long 05s, looking for an eventual 16 touch though on the second one. It's at 10s now. It's not crossing. There does seem to, there we go. All right, nice. So now we're back in Greensville. We just went negatory on that last little futures dip trade. So I'm happy getting back in the future to defend 18.8, wetting my beak on ENVX. Let's see if we can get a nicer move here on said TQQQs, now up 0.11%. But I think it was Gorav or maybe somebody there in chat, not exactly sure who, but they astutely pointed out that the market seems to be awfully consolidative in anticipation for the monster that reports after the bell today. It goes by the name of Nvidia. And yeah, well, it's not the biggest market cap on the market, but it is the most watched because of its position at the moment, being the AI king. And I think it's still got like 80% market dominance in GPUs for AI training. And that's both for inference and learning. It like dominates in both. There's a difference though, guys, that the chips needed for inference are apparently, they're got to be a lot stronger or, you know, more powerful than the chips needed for training. So that's becoming two different worlds now. Training chips and inference chips, anyway, it becomes a whole convoluted thing. But it behooves you to kind of educate yourself on it, just so that you can, you know exactly why things are pumping and things are damping and everything like that. All right, nice move up here. ENVX at 15s. Let's go, ENVX. I'm going to be waiting at set 16s here to wet my beak on the last little bit. This one has been giving me all sorts of problems today. I've been having to really pack my patience with it. 16 showing up now on the ask. I saw 17s momentarily. Alas, it did not cross. This is a technical resistance level, right? So we got there at 1207, reject. Got there at 1230 and 1231, reject. So there's definitely a seller near 16. It's not reflected on the book. As you can see here, I'm looking and there's baby shares on the book. It doesn't justify the rejection. So I know that there's an iceberg on the other side of that. That's fine. It doesn't mean that it's going to be there forever. So ENVX, long, future, long. Let's see what comes.
Yeah, let's see what comes indeed. I am in a trade. Now, this is something where like I said, didn't even really want to take any more trades. I was like, I'm going to have to get in the same eye, a little bit rough on myself. I don't know why I became British. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support in the chat. And I just remembered what Sean said that I was trying to live by today. In order to make money, you must attempt ideas. This is actually literally like, you know, lose yourself in the moment, the music, you gotta never let it go. And literally just trying to sing Eminem here, lose yourself. So you really do have to lose yourself in the trade sometimes. This could go against me, but right now it's going for me. I did love those PDD ideas. And right now we are falling, we're kind of going for a lower day break here. And I can't believe I took this, but I also really like the idea. So I was like, I think I do owe it to myself to try it. Could it go against me? Sure. And I mean, I don't love the idea, especially when you're in a prop firm, you're trading other people's money. You don't want to lose other people's money, right? I've not been proud of how I've been trading lately, but I do feel like you also, if you like an idea, why not attempt it? I'm lucky enough to be here, so I'm so happy to have this whole amazing community, everyone behind and as well in the back, and it's just such an awesome opportunity that, you know, you owe it to yourself to try things if you like them. So PDD, about 20 cents in the money right now. Let's see if we can get this a little bit lower. If we break above, I'm only risking 10 pennies on this, basically all I can actually risk on the real. So yeah, good times. Sometimes you do have to take those moments where you're on the edge of the cliff and it's like, what do you do with this cliff? And in my case, I cliff jumped. That analogy became really dark, but it's all good. Here we go. PDD breaking to the downside. Please just punch. To quote John Ralphio in Parks and Rec, turn that frown up, sadicity. If you see stuff you like, just take it because it could work against you, but it could also work. Shout out to Bonkzilla, quote of the day. Let it happen. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. If we break back above 80s, I'll take it there, but I do want to see us crack a little bit lower on my PDD. What else is happening here? What's everyone else looking at? Come on, Tesla, 178. It's coming, says Chase Bands. Love that name. Yeah, okay, this is interesting. We had a little bit of a pause here at that 179.50. Let's see what we see here on TSLA. But yeah, I think really for me, the level on Tesla is going to be that 180.50 to 181. Yeah, I gave up that short a little bit early for sure, but nice look there. Right now, though, I think I'm going to have to get out of these PDDs because we're kind of coming back to the upside. I want to see what we do here, though. Happy I took the trade. And again, thank you so much for this awesome community. I'm so happy to be here every day.
Yes, Adair, love it. Sick attitude, bro, honestly. Can I mention something? I'm looking to take out the remaining amount here on the TQQQs at this technical level. Like, look, it's not, I don't want to equate the TQQQs and try to say this is the level on the TQQQs as it is on the NQ. I don't like to do that, but you can kind of try to spot these areas. So this area here on the TQQQ looks to be the same area as the volume weighted average price on the NQ. So I'm trying to pack my patience here for an 18.8 hold to take out the remaining balance here. We were 15 pennies in the money at the high there. We're long 55s. I'm looking for a 74 print. I get it, I don't, that's fine. But I was thinking maybe that would be a reasonable area because it was VWAP. So if we gave up the ghost at VWAP, I was thinking, maybe we reject off the volume weighted average price. So let's go actually ahead and put it a smidge below that. I'm going to go ahead and put it at 72s because what's life without Whimsy? Here we go. 70s incoming here. The future just popped up, but too much resistance. All right, ENVX, back to this one. Pleased, very pleased with this one. Was able to actually get the 16 print. It did make its way up to 18, but look how quickly it did retrace back into 12s or 11s or whatever. It's trying to go back above right now, printing 15s. The idea with this one was simple. It was a 20-period retracement on the 5. It had respected the 20 period on multiple prior occasions. Over here is what I'm really thinking about. And then that's what precipitated me to get into it. And there you go, curling off the 20 again. It hasn't tested the HOD, which is the $quarter, 11.25 HOD on ENVX. But we're done with this trade. So we'll look for something maybe into VWAP or so at that level. What's the future up to? Did I print? And I printed on the future. Very, very happy with this one. We do get the 72 prints, so we're going to hit the bang there. Took the first L there on said future, but was able to get right back into it and fought with this bad word.
Fought with this bad mama jama.
Hey, I like that. I can use that.
Yeah, there you go.
I can use it.
I'm so happy I won my fight with PDD. I'm like giddy.
Auction.
We do have the auction.
Yes.
I'm waiting. I have it up.
Okay,
That's why I wasn't.
beauty. Thank you.
I'm just waiting to see this happen here. If we get to see the numbers, we will tell. Oh, okay. No, that was crude Cushing inventories, not the auction. Why is the auction not showing up on the screen? Okay. If anyone sees us, let us know for the auction because I'm not seeing it on my financial juice for some reason. But I think we do. We're supposed to have it. So, oh yeah, 20-year bond auction just came through. 2.510 versus 2.820 here for the previous, so a little bit lower than the previous. Thank you so much, Day Trader Cut, for putting this in the chat. Yeah, so we popped back up on the Qs here a little bit, so happy I got out of that PDD. Yeah, nice little pop here, but again, the Q's kind of coming into resistance. Look at that 456.20. Bounce, bounce. Looks like it flat bottom broke, but we know resistance and support can flip, especially with it kind of brushing up against that 9 EMA. So this is going to be something we're going to have to take a look at. Also, oh my gosh, Moderna popping back to the upside. I had a little bit of a bit of minor war with this stock, good times. But yeah, really trying to break this high of 160. Fair warning, this one, the spread on this that's what chopped me up a lot here. Watch out for the spread. It has been up to 40 pennies that I've seen it, maybe wider. And the tightest I've seen the last little bit has been like 10 pennies. So just be aware for mRNA. This one is a little bit of a spready name right now. GME to VWAP. NDAX holding 16, says Neil. Shout out to Neil here. Big copper debt mentioning AMD. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, this double top AMD short. And then I was watching that VWAP bounce. I'm happy I didn't get involved in that long because it continued to fall to the downside. But yeah, what's everyone looking at here? I do want to say, proud of myself for the PDD because, like I said, I had so little risk left that literally this trade was kind of, it was kind of now or never. But you know, as Justin Bieber says, I will never say never. I will fight till forever. And I think if you like an idea, and that's what I did in this case, I said, you know, you can't be scared to make money. This could go against you, but I felt pretty good about it, so I did get involved. If this short keeps manifesting, I might take it now because I did make a little bit back there on that PDD. Definitely not going to be positive on the day, but still proud of the mindset for getting back in. How's Nvidia doing? Because some people mentioning what's happening for Nvidia. This is okay. Yeah, Nvidia kind of coming back to this level. This is not what I'm playing for the rest of the day just because, yeah, that risk is something else. But let's see what we do at VWAP. I think this could get kind of interesting. Carvana, beep, beep. New high of day, Carvana, beep, beep, says Darwin. So let's see how Carvana's going here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Some of these short flow names happening, it makes sense that Carvana gets this pop. No, sorry, it wasn't anything other than Carvana. It was just like, oh, Carvana. But that out on the cues is amazing, by the way. Like, I just noticed that I want to clap for Sharif there.
That was the VWAP.
That was the VWAP
exactly
out.
why I wanted it out there.
No, and I said too, because we had that double, that area in the cues that was that double bottom, that 652 in the flat bottom break.
Bang.
It's such a good look. Yeah, I want to clap for Sharif again.
Oh, thank you, Darren.
One more time. Apparently Starbucks is on caffeine. One more time. Yeah, I mean, Starbucks might be singing that song. I highlighted these levels earlier. Thank you to Elon for pointing this out. 79.55, 79.8. These are both areas where support resistance really flipped. And then Starbucks was like, I'm not going to play that game anymore. I'm just going to go straight to the upside. Cool. I was like, yeah, do your thing, 21, Starbucks. But nice move to the upside here for SBUX. Couple topping tail candles. We may be a little exhausted, but looks like there is still some caffeine in that name. Thank you to Elon for pointing that one out. Slightly lower than expected. The market didn't react very much, though. No,
you can kind of see that right now. We're 5 minutes deep now. Usually, you know, it takes a few minutes for the auction to react, but not this subdued. I didn't expect this. Okay, so let's get back to said trades. Okay, interesting look now. I was about to say the dead ones at key support. What am I talking about, bro? The dead one's down 2/3%. This is a previous area close that I didn't remove, so that's on me. Remove this trend line. So Apple closed out yesterday at 192 1/3, back down into 191. I'll be looking for a 191 defend here. Whole dollar level, AAPL. Do we have technical? Do we have price action support there? Not really. I mean, a couple of times we've ran through it. Not anything that I'd really expect. It'd have to prove itself to me and start curling back up. So getting it on the back end, as Neil likes to say. But it's been a sell everything kind of day today for Apple. It's been down and to the right ever since opening up green. But yeah, been very weak. So I don't know. Oh, another good look here for goggles. Okay. So goggles has also been rejecting off the 20 period on the 5. And here we go. We're getting another 20 period retracement. So this is interesting here because it's been a very weak day on these Mag 7. So I'm just looking short now, Mag 7 names. And now we have a nice move up here off that 175 and a fifth LOD on GOOGL. And now we're popping right back into that 20 period. So I could absolutely be persuaded to take Goggles south. Goggles is hurting today, man. 1 1/4 down on the day. It is one of the worst performing Mag 7 names. The worst, obviously, is TSLA. Second in line is Goggles. So, yeah, I mean, this is with the trend. So let's go ahead and pull up Google. I am cognizant of the 18.8 retracement. I get all that. Oh, come on, ENVX, bro. Why'd I? Oh.
That was a good out, though.
It's good, but you know, you're always angry as a trader.
Oh, believe.
Right? Yeah.
That's been my quote of the day.
Know. Exactly, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's pull up Google over here because I could definitely be interested in this Google short. So I'm gonna continue to watch here. I want to see, you know, some sort of proof that we're gonna reject that 20 on the 5. And I want to see a wick like a wick through it and then a close below it, for example. Kind of like what I saw here. Like, look what we did over here. We got to the 20, wicked up above, closed below. Wicked up above, closed below. Same thing over here. Wicked up above, closed below. So if we do that over here, I'll definitely get short. Now, where's the stop? So if I get short, say in the mid 60s, mid to low 60s, for example, where do I get out? Well, to me, it's going to be a 175.90 break. Right? I don't want it to print above this topping tail candle over here. I'll put it at 91s, but it doesn't look like it's going to stop right now. Goggles is moving right back up here. Does this have anything to do with the future? Probably, because we're seeing some green candles here. I'm seeing green candles come in on Softy. That's it, though. Softy and Tesla. You're not seeing much else really curling up here. Softy, Google, and Tesla. A little bit. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this retracement. I'm looking short Google, but it's going to have to come down below the 20 before I get short. Otherwise, the trade is based on nothing. I am basing it on the 20-period rejection. If it's above the 20, then I'm not getting short. Microsoft is doing the same thing, though. I want to point this out. Here comes Softy into the 20. It's also rejected on the 20 earlier on. That was around noon. We come back into the 20, and then look how the big boy Huadunk off that 431 top. We make it down all the way to 429 and a third. So Microsoft, Google, both interesting to me. Shorts, both based on the 20. Google higher than Microsoft, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some interesting stuff to look at. We're going to get that lesson started soon, but a couple things to talk about first. Chemical reaction, man, the reason we call Apple the dead one is just because of what it does intraday. That's what it is. Like, no, Sharif loves Apple. Sharif is an Apple long term. Like, we are not anti-Apple people here. We do get the Steve Jobs done. You know what I mean? We love when it Tim Cooks to the upside, but we do call it the dead one just because of the fact that it kind of does not a lot on the intraday basis. That was not my whole point. The second thing I want to talk about, though, is we do have our new segment coming up with Sharif being Pat Sajak on the green screen. He will look at some tickers. But how do we choose the tickers, you ask? That's where you come in. Bang. What you have to do is go join, and I'll put I'm not going to put a ticker, but I'm going to go join here in the chat, and then the underscore would be whatever your ticker is, but you have to make sure you have the dollar store, the dollar sign before. So it's don't have the dollar store.
Here it is,
yeah,
guys.
There we go. That's what you want to do. So whatever your ticker you want to take a look at, exclamation point, join. Oh, I didn't even do it right in my sample, so I'm going to delete my message.
All
but you have to do exclamation point, join, and then dollar sign, whatever ticker you like. That's what you really want. Yeah. And so if you do that, then you can join our lovely queue, and we will look at some of the charts that people want to take a look at.
Exactly. You guys control now what we talk about on the segment from 2 to 2:20. Before, we would just recap the morning movers. Why is Nvidia up? Why is this doing that? All right, we already talked about that. Now it's talking about the trade time. So let me know what you want to see. Do you want to talk about Nvidia as we approach earnings, or you want to talk about Tesla's 180 give up today and the 3 1/3% that it's down on the day? If it is, go ahead, type in join exclamation point Tesla. Do you want to talk about PDD and the insane move that it did pre-market? Neil alerted me to that right while I walked into the office today. So make sure you have your say. Exclamation point, space, or exclamation point, the word join, space, dollar sign, and the ticker that you want. Neil's killing me, bro. Just join Sharif's beard. I love it. Neil Roberts, baby, on the ones and twos. It's gone, Neil. It's been gone since September, man. He says, it doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Have your say, guys. Go ahead, get that in the chat. We do that every day from 2 to 2:20, and we talk about what you guys want us to talk about. So go and have your say. If you don't, well, then you're not going to have your say. All right, let's talk about some of these tickers here at Dara. I just finished taking a page out of your book, waxing poetic at these 20-period retracements here on Softy and on Goggles. I'm waiting until they confirm that they are going to reject off those levels. They're both above the 20-period right now, so I'm not taking either trade. I saw big Kyle Burdett call out a trade. He says short Meta at the WAP, at the VWAP 470.50. That's where VWAP is on Meta on my chart, and he's not wrong. It's about 50 pennies below that as it dances with the $10 level at 470. So keep your eye out on these shorts. I'm still not convinced that we curl up here, even though we're back above 18.8 and a smidge above VWAP. But I think this is kind of like no man's land on the future, where this is the level of support that we had all morning. We drop below it, we come back into that level of support. Now it's like we have to hold our breath to see whether we reclaim the level or reject the level. And so that's what I'll be looking at. I think that will really dictate whether I get short on goggles and softy, whether or not we reject this VWAP area here and this key area of price action support earlier on the NQ June contract. So I'm watching, and I'm sure I'll take a trade probably one way or another while Adara is dropping hot lines on the lesson of the day.
It reminds me of that song, One Way or Not Short. Throw back to the 80s, great song. But yeah, also great is lessons and learning. And today we're going to be talking about spotting higher probability breakouts with the measured move. So breakouts can be really exciting opportunities in day trading, right? You know, when we see one, we're like, like super, I just squealed at an insane pitch there. But yeah, you get really excited. You want those breakouts. Super fun to trade, super fun to look at. But how do you pinpoint the highest probability breakouts? Well, we're going to talk about that in this lesson because you could actually use the measured move to help identify these breakouts, get a little bit more confidence. And I did not press the right slide. There we go. What is the measured move? So it's a concept that's going to relate price movement to volume, and it suggests that the size of the breakout or the price move is often proportional to the preceding trading volume. There we go. But how do you identify breakout levels, right? So a couple different things to look at. Support and resistance. We talk about these levels so much on the whole show, and especially we love talking about them in the midday because Sharif and I are both support and resistance type people. Man. That is for sure. What you want to do is identify key support and resistance levels on the chart. So these are areas that the price has historically bounced off of, and they're going to create some temporary barriers. Then you want to do a volume analysis. So what you want to see is a surge in volume preceding the move towards support and resistance. Are we seeing people getting extra excited like, wait, look at me as we head into these areas? Are we seeing people want to break out above or below these areas with a viciousness? That's absolutely something to look at. But now once you've identified these areas, how do you strike? We're going to tell you. First, what you want to do is look for that breakout with high volume. If you have that decisive price breakthrough with through that support or resistance level, accompanied with high volume, that might be a breakout signal. It might go ping, time to look at this chart, time to get involved. Now, once you have that, what you want to do is try to project the move, and this is where the measured move comes in. Take the distance between the support and resistance level and the breakout point. So for example, $2, and project this distance in the breakout direction to estimate a potential price target. So if the breakout is upwards, add $2 to the breakout price. So what you're doing, again, to clarify, subtract between that support and resistance level, and then project that move $2 to the breakout price, for example. So why does this matter? We'll tell you. Confirmation with volume is always going to be really key, right? So high volume preceding a breakout will suggest increased buying or selling pressure, which should potentially push that price further into the breakout direction. Measured targets are also really important because the projected price target based on the measured move can give you a more realistic estimate of where the price might reach. Again, not will reach, but might reach, which can help you set profit targets. My brain just had a little moment. That's all good though. Okay. But you know what also has a little moment are these markets. Here's one example with this measured bull move. We did have that push up here with a little bit of a volume move, right? So then you have your measured move, you make that little retracement, and then that's when you see as we get to that retracement, a little bit more volume, poof, pop to the upside, pushing to the upside. I want to shout out PMG in the chat as well, saying Cobra Kai that action. Yeah, you got to do that karate chop here in these markets, right? And that shows you when you have that volume, we do have that push to the upside, which I think is really key. Also, let's talk about important considerations here too as well, because false breakouts are worth noting. Not all breakouts are going to be successful with volume, even if you have volume, right? Because the price can fake a breakout and reverse. And I mean, we know fake outs. I've been, talking about Moderna and some of those fake outs in different directions all day, right? So sometimes stocks like to make you wait for it, right? Because they don't care about your feelings. They'll do what they do. So just because you have volume doesn't mean you've clinched that breakout. You always want to look for confirmatory factors. And some of those could be like moving averages or price patterns. Now, also market context, always going to be key as well. Consider what the market's telling you as a whole, because a strong breakout during a bullish trend is more likely to follow through compared to a breakout during a consolidation phase. Now, how do you put it all together, mix it up, and make it into a great little souffle? How do you take all of these different elements? Well, we'll tell you. You want to identify support and resistance and high volume activity around said levels. Then what you want, a decisive break with volume confirmation. Once you have, I don't know, I'm getting so intense here.
All good.
Project that measured move distance to estimate your potential price target. Because how are you going to get into the trade if you don't know where you're getting out of the trade? I don't know. And last but not least, combine these with other technical factors and market context for a more robust trading strategy. But remember, measured move is a tool, it's not a rule. It is a tool, but it is not a rule, it's not a guarantee. So you want to back test your strategies and refine them based on real market data.
Okay.
By incorporating the measured move into your analysis, you can become more adept at spotting high probability breakouts in intraday trading. And with that note done, we are all good to go. Also, shout out to Adrian saying that I should dye my hair black for a more gothic approach to trading.
I saw that. I was
know
like,
about
what?
that. It's pretty funny. I get no comment. Right now we're living the redhead life, but I don't know. We'll see that.
Did you ever? Have you ever dyed your hair black?
I've dyed my hair pretty much every color under the sun.
Seriously?
Like not straight black.
Okay.
I don't think straight black.
So brownish, like darker brownish.
Oh, we've done blue. We've done a couple pinks.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done. I was blonde for like a couple of years. That was.
I remember when you interviewed, you were blonde.
I was blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I was a blonde for a while, but yeah, right now we are the redhead. But I had to shout out Adrian because I got a kid.
Adrian. I like that. Shout out to you guys. I don't know what to make of these futures moves here, man. It's super zigzaggy, and I think this is one of those days where the zigzagginess will get you in a lot of trouble if you're looking for direction. Because, you know, I took the quick scalp off that VWAP pop on the T triple Qs, but look what it did. It continued right through VWAP, and it's still making lower highs. I get that. So the trend not necessarily done yet, but that's not how I typically trade the futures, right? We base them off key levels. So I see this downward channel, and it jives with the upper wicks of these earlier candles as well in the more liquid time of day. I get all that, but I'm much more hesitant to base the futures trade on trend lines. That's for dang sure. I just don't typically trade the futures that way. So anyway, keeping an eye on the future. And the reason is I'm keeping an eye on the futures is because I've been looking to short the soft one and goggles. And neither has held up at any of the levels that I looked at. So I was looking at the 20 on Microsoft, thinking, okay, it jived with the 20 earlier. No 20. Then I'm like, okay, well, it was definitely jiving with the 50 as support. Maybe it jives with it this time. No jiving. 431 then, I'm looking for a VWAP rejection if the future continues to head up. Same thing with Google, right? Look for 10, look for 20, nothing incoming. In no man's land at the moment. Just in front of that below, excuse me, that 176 also at VWAP. So that's gonna really be my line in the sand. I'm gonna look for a VWAP reclaim, or I'm gonna look for a short. So 176 in VWAP, I like that. When the whole dollar level and the volume weighted average price conflate, we'll see what we get on these bad boys. As I talked badly about Softy there, it came back down, so maybe I should do more of that. Anyway, no, seriously though. I'm looking for these guys to hold up in their ascent. I'm looking for a rejection in the same way that we just got on Tesla at the 20. So Tesla, oh, come on, bro. You're looking for the hardest ones and the easiest one that keeps rinsing and repeating you're not taking. I'm yelling at myself in case you haven't noticed. Tesla has definitely rejected off the 20 on the 5 all day long, and I keep looking at these other ones, and I don't know why. Maybe because I was looking at Tesla 180 earlier. That's probably it. Anyway, below 180 right now, coming into that $0.75 is Tesla. The low is just at that $0.50. We're about 20 pennies above the low right now on TSLA, down 3 1/3%. But you'll know if you've been here the last few days that Tesla's had a couple of good days. And so it stands to reason that we get back a little bit of it. Meta, VWAP, Big Kyle, what are you going to do here? 470 2/3 coming actually a little bit above VWAP. So that's a good look for you there, Kyle. It's been below VWAP since it gave up the ghost there at around 1/4 to the hour. I just don't have a trade here, guys. I don't think this is the right setup for me to wait for these levels to come in and not have them respect the level. So I'm going to stay put at the moment. No trades for me. I'll keep my eye on some small cap cappers because they're still going. I heard BNED actually made a move through VWAP, but was quick to retrace. Let's have a look at that real quick because I know the guys were on that. Neil was on this one earlier too. Yeah. Let's look at this one. Bed Bath. What is this again?
Barnes and Noble.
Thank you, Barnes and Noble. I was going to say Bed Bath and Beyond. Yeah, try.
I mean, same wheelhouse, same retail, similar herbs.
Different price. Yeah, this 110 though, Adara. This is an interesting level, and this takes us all the way back to the move we had yesterday in the aftermarket. 730, 110-ish high. Again, this morning at 4:10 a.m. on volume, by the way. This candle here did 682,000 shares, so there was volume at 4 a.m. 110-ish again. Here, look at the closing prints at 110. This is the only outlier. And then yet again, we come in, break VWAP into 110 and reject. So 110 featuring here for whatever reason on BNED over and over and over again, for the exception, obviously, of the opening prints here where the volatility takes us beyond those levels. $1.35 is the HOD, below VWAP, but trying to fight right now with that dollar. So did break below the dollar, got to 85 pennies at the low there, and worked its way back above a buck, but no trade for me on this one. I'll steer clear of this one, and I'll look for some others.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's still rejecting 180, so I got short. And I know I was like, I don't really want to take any more trades today because I don't know what that voice was, because I was really down. I didn't have that much risk left. But you know what? The thing was, the reason I got involved in that PDD, and I literally had to risk actual pennies, was because I did like that setup and I thought I owed it to myself to try. You know what I mean? As 50 Cent says, get rich or die trying. And so that's what I wanted to do here. Really tight risk. The PDD works. So now we have a little bit of wiggle room to take this Tesla short. I'm not trying to be frivolous about this. I do like the levels. That's why I got involved. If we break above 180.10 decisively, so I'm only risking 15 pennies. A part of that is necessity. Part of that is also just what I'm seeing in the book. When I say necessity, I just mean because the day has been rough, and so you got to do what you got to do. But I do like this trade beyond reasons of just, you know, today's been rough. It's because I feel like I'm in a good read on Tesla today. That 181 kept coming, and I kept giving it up way too early. But, you know, my thing is, like, if we keep seeing this rejection, which we did, I said, Adara, I think you owe it to yourself. If you do like this trade, which, believe me, I do, you owe it to yourself to try. We've seen a couple wicks above 180, and then Tesla's like, I don't think so. Like, I gave you guys 186 yesterday, okay? Like, you're going to have to, right now I want to take a little bit of a move to the downside. So it's like, okay, Tesla, do your thing. The goal here is I want 60s. I don't know if we're going to get 60s. If we got 60s, I'd be 35 pennies in the money. I'd be pleased as punch with that. I'm only risking 15 pennies. So, you know what I mean? I think as long as we get 80s, I'm actually, like, making up okay risk reward. So I'm okay with that. So I want to say as well, I do appreciate everyone in the chat saying, you know, maybe the issue is just hold your winners for longer. I want to consider that, but I also find when I do that, especially because as someone who likes to scalp, that's where my trades go kind of awry. So it's something I definitely want to consider, but I also want to be cognizant of the ways that I find I trade the best and worst. So I just want to put that out there. It's something I'm going to have to do some rumination on tonight. But Tesla's like, ruminating what? Nah, I'm just going to drop. I'm like, okay. Sorry for that chair push back there. I was very excited, and I think I kind of needed this. I had a pretty good read on Tesla today, which is also why I felt okay. But yeah, we keep bouncing here at 80s, so 80s might be our, we'll do 79s. We'll be a little bit spicy with it. What's life without whimsy? But yeah, please just punch with this. And I think, you know, not trying to be all like, oh, you know, go me. No, because today was a really bad day. These last few days have been some of my worst in trading. But it's just figuring out why is it not working. I'm not trusting myself. So you have to trust yourself. You have to get involved when you see stuff you like. And to quote Ariana Grande, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it with very minimal risk because, again, today's been rough. But you're just going to take what you like. And so Tesla, if you want to keep taking that move to the downside, pleased as punch. But I see you are pleased as punch. Google searching for that downside move.
I like Google searching, eh? Well said there, Dara. Yeah, I'm annoyed because I definitely wanted 99s. I tried to get in at 99s, and it didn't fill me, so I chased it down. And by virtue of the chase, I have a crappy entry price. Maybe it won't be so crappy if we print. Short 92s, looking for a VWAP rejection on goggles. We did come right into that 18,825, come back a little bit down. Goggles seems to be a little bit stronger than the future at the moment, but we'll see if we can get that print below on Google here on the short. So 176.05, my Gonzino out. It'll have to stay below that. Otherwise, that's it. Big Kyle Burdett, Amazon short attempt against 183.20, not looking great, need some help. Come on, SPY, come on down. I echo you. I echo that sentiment, Kyle. I'm short with you on goggles. You're short Amazon. I do like your short on the Zon. Let's cover that. So Amazon has been, look, Amazon's been awfully weak. I mean, look at this. Even on the drop down, so weak was Amazon, it didn't even give you a 10-period retracement. There was no 10-period touch on Amazon from 1145 all the way until it touched it here at 115. It stayed below it the entire time. It didn't even, like, look at even this candle over here at 1215. It doesn't even touch a 10-period. Obviously, you could have front run it a little bit knowing that it was below the 10-period, but if you're waiting for retracement at the level, it looked like it was not forthcoming. So I'd be looking price action here, Big Kyle. There is a whole lot of interesting bottoms that we put in at that 183.50, 183 and 2/3. You have that level at 1150. You got it here 1055, 1050. Again at 1035, and these two candles over here, 1005 and 1010, all had interactions with 183.50, 183 and 2/3. If we curl back up into that area, I'll definitely be interested on a short on Amazon. That is, of course, unless I get in a whole lot of trouble. No, I don't have enough share size to get into a whole lot of trouble on Google, but I really want the rejection of VWAP here. It's not forthcoming at the moment. Printing 88s right now. Let's see if we get printed. I'm waiting at 85s. We'll see what we get there, but it looks like there's some strength coming in here for whatever reason on Google. Midday is still not printing me, so I'm going to pack my patience. Sorry, not Amazon. Meta is now the one that has completely changed its tune and decided to run up. So this has been the strongest Mag 7 name on the day. We already mentioned that, 1.44 to the good. Higher was up more at the highs there. It seems to have reclaimed VWAP. I'd be looking 472-ish for possible resistance, if not a little bit before that, because we definitely had a crest in and around 472 and then again over here. So we'll see if whether or not we make it all the way down there. Yes, Google, I got printed there, so now we de-risked a little bit on goggles. Now I'm going to hold the remaining amount to either get stopped out or to print a little bit lower. I'll be looking to take more profits at the $0.75 if it makes its way down there. I don't have a whole lot of hope, though, with these markets above VWAP. Robbie V. Faraday, FFIE. I'd say we're going to do a big breakdown through $1 as there's not much bounce. What do you think? Adira, Sharif, let's have a look. So where is said chart with all my indicators that I like? There we go. Faraday. Faraday future. All right, $1.01 support. Yeah, you're not wrong, Rob. That's the thing, man. It's been printing lower highs and lower lows.
Bless you.
You know, bless you, Ram. You just feel like the bottom's going to give out, but you have that dollar defend. Like Neil always tells me, I was even telling Wainers the other day, I'm like, it's a different trade below $1 and it's a different trade above $1 because of that either resistance and support that you could have. So that dollar level, once you break it, you could use it as defense, as support. That's the only thing I'd say to you with respect to that idea that it's going to, just huadunk below that buck. But you're not wrong. I think you have the right idea here. You're with the trend. It's lower highs, lower lows. The low of day is 1 penny above that whole dollar level. So good look for you here. I'm not going to involve myself in Faraday today. Down 25% after obviously the big run up on Faraday. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, this has been the look on Faraday starting on the 14th when the memes, I'm talking about GameStop and the like, they started going, and so did Faraday. We got to 390s at the high there, almost knocked on the door $4, but you saw what happened there. And now we're kind of putting in that lower lows, lower highs, and curling back down, maybe back to reality. I don't know. What was this at, man? This thing, what was it trading at before? Look, give me a second here to find out. This thing was 4 pennies. Oh my God. This thing was 4 pennies and we went to $4, man. Whoever was holding this, I really hope you sold. Right, because that's a hell of a percentage increase right there. What is the percentage increase on that, Adara? I need to know.
4%.
I need to know. All right.
Yeah,
that's 9,100%, Adara.
10,000.
10,000%. That's madness. So I really hope anybody who had this at 4 pennies absolutely, you know, they hit the profit bell and got out of town. Yeah. Go down, Google. Sorry, dear.
You should have too. I think it was Will Saddison in our chat, maybe saying I think they said they got involved with like 32 cents. I might not have been you, it might not have been FFIE, but if it was you and if it was FFIE, shout out to you. That's a great look. Also, Tesla looks like it's flat bottom breaking, and I want to get back in. I did get out of that first short. Please just punch. And again, mostly I'm just happy for myself for getting back in the saddle because I told you, like, I had my whole moment where it's like, oh, I need to go into the sim for a bit, like cute, like dramatic violin from like a 60s movie in black and white, you know. And then, you know, I think, as John Szymanski said in the chat, screen time. Screen time matters, and I also think I really did underestimate the mental aspect of trading and how much that trade changes when you're live. 100%.
Isn't it annoying?
It's so annoying.
It's annoying so because, like, things. Yo, why am I worried? Right?
Right?
Number one, you know, we always respect everybody's money, but it's not technically my money. Why am I worried? I did it in the sim. Why can't I execute it the same way in real life? It's such a mental, you know what, right?
Yeah, it messes with your brain. It does. But Tesla, if you want to mess back with that 179.88 level so I can get back involved, I would love that. Also, I would love if everyone who wants to see tickers can go exclamation point join, space, $, whatever your ticker is. So I'm going to do an example. I'm not adding myself to the queue, so I'm not going to put an actual ticker.
I can put it in. It's right here.
Thank you.
Right here.
Sharif is going to show it on your screen, so I will not do that demonstration.
Yes, guys. So exclamation point, then the word join, no spaces there. Then after the word join, space, $, and your ticker. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people that want to talk about Nvidia today, just owing to the fact that we have earnings after the bell. But 2 days in a row, it's been Tesla that's been the #1 ticker. Not really surprised by that because it was moving the last couple of days. But have your say. We're now going to talk about what you guys want. So if you don't vote, you don't get a say. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So have your vote. Make sure to vote before 1:50. The cutoff time is 1:50. You can vote every day from 1 p.m. to 1:50. Sorry about that, Ram. From 1 p.m. to 1:50. Then we cut it off, and then you don't get to have your say anymore. So you got to do it now. You've got another 15 minutes or so. Otherwise, we shut that bad boy off. Let's go. Google. I'm 1 penny away here from getting printed on my last little beak wetter. I'm looking to front run the $0.75 area. I'm sitting at 76s. I saw 77s on the bid there. And as the future comes down, the future is headed down back into 18.8 or so it says. And there it is, baby. We take the fill at the $0.75. Pleased as punch. This was a 176 rejection that I didn't even have that good of a price on. I tried to chase it down. Instead of getting 99s, I got 92s. But good trade here. Shout out to Big Kyle. I know he was taking that Zon short. He's like, dump the Zon. Dump it. There he is. There he is. I see you. I see you, Big Kyle. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Amazon on the way down to 183 break.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Kyle Burdett, who was in the zone and in the zone. Look at that at the same time. We got a nice little move down, and I got filled on Tesla. So really proud of myself. I think the biggest thing I've learned with trading is perseverance. You fall and you get back up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, as JC says, you know, brush the dirt off the shoulder and on to the next one. So nice look. I know someone in the chat as well saying life is not a song lyric. That is very true. But I think song lyrics can motivate you. And, you know, they sometimes they come from life, right? So it comes from experience. So you got to keep going. So I will always shout out these songs. Have a good time here in these markets. Tesla might break lows of days. No, we're not. Sorry, the low of days like 174, but that might be in a dark pool. Yeah, it looks like that's on a dark pool basis. We are cracking below 179.60s though here. So Chris, Jay, the exclamation point join, that's how you join. I don't know if this, I can't do sarcasm, but it's like, if exclamation point join is like, oh, you want to get involved here, like join whatever your ticker is going to be. So yeah, Bears vs. Bulls can have that in there. They keep showing what this is going to be. Oh yeah, submit your ticker. Thank you, Bears vs. Bulls. That really is what I should have said instead of how I explained that. Nice move down here for Tesla, but Mara here, oh, okay, this is interesting. I know a lot of people are mentioning Mara. Look at this flip-flop here. We had a little bit of resistance, 2205s, support, 2205s, climb slightly higher, nice move up. The pinnacle looks like it's about 2285. Actual high of day is 2286, so look at that. Then we continue to push to the downside, but it's interesting. Where we pause here, 2237, that was where we had that previous support. A little bit of resistance. Continue to push lower, then we come back to that 2205 area. around VWAP. We try to push a little bit higher, and unfortunately, as the market falls, so does Mara. I mean, it is fortunate if you were involved in a Mara short, because you definitely got a nice little push to the downside here, but great look on MARA. Coin looking nice as well. Shout out to CompSRX saying coin short close, so it looks like you definitely printed on that. And a little bit less so than Mara, I just think because Coinbase had a bit more of a parabolic-ish run, to quote Sharif, to use a Sharifism from earlier. But this 34.50 was kind of interesting, right? So we had a little bit of chop and turn here, pop back up on the 90 EMA with the viciousness. Then when we started to peter out and fall here, look where we saw is a little bit of a pause. That's right, 234.50. I see you, Coinbase. I see where you're trying to base out. Then we actually, and what's interesting too is we don't break down right from 243.50. Coinbase makes you wait for it. Has this little chop and turn. Oh, we'll pop into 235. No, we won't. Oh, no. And then we head to the downside. We could be bouncing off VWAP. This could be an interesting look, but this is certainly a great look and a really interesting chart to look at here today. What's everyone looking at? What do people want to see? Also, I want to clarify as well, some people were asking about this, FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. It's not a Fed meeting. Fed Powell is not talking, but the FOMC minutes coming through at 2 p.m. I'm sure you are pleased as punching your TQ short.
I was out way earlier. Adara. Oh, I think.
I think you got involved.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, this is why you need to clean up your stops, Adara.
I mean,
I did not mean to do that.
it worked out.
Yeah, that's lucky. But as Neil says, you always get out. If you fat finger,
That's
you just
true.
flatten
But you
out right
couldn't
away.
when
I didn't mean to do
That's
that. That
true.
was a stop that didn't trigger.
I saw that and I wasn't sure, but I also wasn't gonna like punch out for you.
Huh?
I was very conflicted.
It was a good entry,
was.
says Neil. Yeah, I know, but it was a mistake. How bad is that? No, I know you don't mean that. No, it's because like it's comical because my accidental entries are better than my purposeful entries. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to bring myself
I was
down.
gonna say don't say that, but I've said the same thing about myself. So
Right?
It's hard.
Why did we move down like that?
I don't see any news, but also like I said, I've had issues with like my news.
Sure.
blotter.
I'm just gonna have a look real quick. I don't see anything, so you're right. Yeah, nothing really coming forward to show this, to justify this whole big down move. So we'll keep everybody apprised. We hear anything about, wow. Okay, so stuff is moving lower a lot here, guys. Here is the Meg 8 Ram as we, yeah, it's all good. That's why I say Ram, right? So you know what's up. Yeah, big moves down. Apple breaking through the low of the day now. We were talking about that 191 support. Nope, 190.82 LOD at the moment. The same thing happening with Meta. Wow, Meta was, okay, trying to curl back up. We kept singing this one's praise. Strongest Mag 7 on the day, yada, yada, yada. Right back below 470 again. I think we're going to just get more sell-offs into the afternoon. Nvidia is the one really here that sold off the most. So it behooves me to go into Nvidia, see if there's anything showing up on the blotter. Nvidia dips ahead of results. Okay, nothing really Nvidia specific. This is it, but this is not really telling me a whole lot here. Obviously, just the fact that we're going to have earnings after the bell and things are a little bit volatile. So nothing really justifying this move. It's mag wide, says Kyle. You're not wrong. Mr. Longshore says TNX spike since 1 p.m. I don't even know what TNX is. Is that an 10X International SPA? I don't know what that is. What is this? 10X Italy-based company? Okay. Adrian, good entry. Level test, AMD on its consolidation down. Let's have a look at AMD. See what it's up to at the moment. Here is AMD. It's still up 0.5 percentage point. What is it up to now? Well, it's just printed day's lows. That's exactly what it did, 165.19. Is this a key area of support from earlier? What was Adrian saying? Good entry, level test, AMD on its consolidation. I'm not sure what you're looking at, Adrian. Just explain that to me a little bit there. Is this a pre-market high that you're looking at, or the opening 4 a.m. at 165 there? I'm not really sure what you're looking at. Let me know. But AMD definitely still up on the day, but now, as you can see, a very clear downward pattern on the name. Looks like we're holding. No, we got a couple of top bottoming tail candles right now on the future and on some of these Mag 7 names. But I'd suggest to you that this was Nvidia related because the bigger move on these Mag 7 names was in Nvidia. It dropped from 949 essentially all the way down to 943 and a third. So that looks like the reason I think, wow, we moved down in the future.
Yeah, also, shout out to Neil as well for putting this in here, saying that Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon doesn't see Jerome Powell and the Fed cutting rates this year. Ray Dalio also said something to similar effect, like there could be some more interest rate pressures earlier today. So thank you, Neil, for putting that out there. Starbucks apparently chugging along. Was that a pun intended? Incredible, Mr. Lib, like how you chug drinks? Was that? I don't know if that was a pun intended, but if it was, shout out to you. And even if it wasn't, shout out to you, because I mean, wow, you are right. I think you were mentioning in the chat 83 maybe being resistance for Starbucks. Let me look at the daily to see if that is a level that we could be. Okay, actually, I would actually go a little bit further. I would say 84.20. Why? Because to me, that was that big base earlier. That was that previous area of support. But again, the level, I don't know if I said again, I haven't said this before, but the level on Starbucks that I find very tantalizing, very appetizing, is going to be that 90 area. It was around where support was, then we find resistance, then we, to use a Schriffism, quadunk. But yeah, I would say, I mean, right now it's a little bit harder to say where Starbucks will stop because it really isn't giving you any signs. I do think that the 90 MA bounce with this little bottoming tail candle does give you a sign. There is a little bit more gold in them there hills, but it's a little bit harder to say for sure what's going to happen there. So nice look for SBUX. I'm trying to get into a trade myself right now, and the trade's going to be PDT. I am proud of myself for slowly digging myself out of that little Moderna related hole. I did not manage that trade well. That is completely my fault. And it happened, and all you can do is just react. And you know, like I said, I wasn't going to trade for the rest of the day. I was like, oh my gosh, like, if I trade anything, I will immediately get shut down. But it's like, if you have a plan, if you come back and it's say no markets, no cry, to use a term that Sean's used before, also shout out to Bob Marley. If you come at the markets with that approach and that viciousness, then I think you're ready to go. And I have a bit of a problem, and this reminds me as well with that Jensen Huang thing we were talking about earlier today. Yeah. With regards to the fact that Jensen Huang kind of said, you know, like you have to prove your resilience. If things are going well, then you might not do well. And I think I, unfortunately, the type of person that I always love to prove myself wrong, which is not great in the markets, because then I need to be really down to really feel that fire, which is not obviously how I want to be trading, with my back against the wall. But maybe I always need to trade like it is, to quote Justin Bieber, now or never.
Dara, things are absolutely in full Hwadunk mode right now. I'm starting to look to see if there's any geopolitical news, because I'm not seeing anything from the business side of things. I'm looking to see if anything is going on in the Middle East. It doesn't seem like there is. Obviously not good stuff out of the Middle East, it goes without saying, but nothing really new, put it that way. I want to show this because this is an interesting headline for me. This could be a multi-day catalyst, guys. So the likes of Affirm, PayPal, Squarespace, even SoFi, all these, even Hood, anything that could be related to the buy now, pay later. I know a lot of those are not involved in direct buy now, pay later, but here it is, man. The regulator looking to cramp their style. Shares of buy now, pay later companies are trading lower on reports indicating that whatever this agency is, CFPB, will require them to have the same customer protections as credit cards. And you've got the likes of Affirm down 5.5%, PayPal down 2 1/3, Square's down almost 5%, as well as some others. So I'm going to be interested in seeing whether this is like a multi-day negative catalyst for these buy now, pay never. Funny enough, Upstart's up 0.93, but it's heading down a little bit. And I think Upstart had maybe its own catalyst the last little while. But this is interesting. Keep your eye out on that if you're interested in a possible multi-day play on these names. So the Fuge printed new lows, and we got almost new lows on all the Mag 7 names. Not all of them, but most of them. Softy, new lows. Amazon, new lows. Same thing with Apple and Tesla. We're not at new lows quite yet on Nvidia because the IB low there is still at 940. Look for a 940 defend if we make it down there. But I mean, I'm just still waiting for earnings to trade anything Nvidia related. So everything moved down on the markets. We gave up the ghost at 18.8. We've held up, though, it looks for the moment, at 18.750. We did wick 2 points below that, but we're able to reclaim it super quick. I'm not going to be going long anything on these markets. I've only got a few minutes left till I have to be at the big desk, not the big desk, the screen, which leads me into this. I know I've talked about this before, but this is a newer segment, so just bear with me. We have a newer segment, 2 to 220. It's no longer me and Brendo at the big desk and the big kahuna is over here. It's going to be me at the big screen talking about what you want to talk about. So go ahead enter that into the chat, ! join, space, $, and then the ticker that you want. We'll discuss that, the top 5. We'll make it onto our board, and we'll be looking at that from a technical perspective. The Big Kahuna is going to give you their look on that. So if you want your ticker analyzed, and it hasn't been analyzed today, here's your chance. ! Join, space, $, and the ticker. Something tells me that Nvidia may be a heavily requested name today, Dara.
I don't think so.
Katina Man's never heard of it, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, Sean's never heard of Nvidia. Why would NVDA be one of the most requested tickers? I can't think of any reason. I can't even think of a reason like after market close that Nvidia would be asked for tonight.
No. Nothing's going to go on in the aftermarket show. There will be no earnings for Nvidia in the aftermarket.
And it's not like it's, you know, like some huge $3 trillion or $2 trillion company or anything. No, we're joking.
Of course not.
Of course we are joking. Shout out to Nvidia. I'll pull up the Nvidia chart. Oh my. I have no words.
That's what I was trying to say. I mean,
I just, like, the side chart, I didn't really see the perspective, and then when you pull it up here, you're like. So, Nvidia, this has been definitely an interesting one for sure. I think, and I every time I want to talk about you just keep falling more. Okay. But yeah, NVDA, Sean and I will be at the big desk. Market close, Nvidia earnings drop at 420. So we'll have to see if they're green to go with that 420 drop, because that is when they're supposed to be hitting the market at 420 tonight. So let's find out what happens. We also have Snowflake and Elf Beauty. They're both going to be at 405 tonight. So let's take a look at those two heading into the day. I know I'm not like, you know, doing my Vanna White thing at the green screen, but, you know, we'll look at these. Oh, okay. This is level.
Oh, she pushed the chair back.
Snow
Watch
level.
Out.
Look at that level on snow. At 163. Doo-dee-doo. I sound like the Swedish chef, but I do like that rejection and then that support, because we had that massive move down, and snow wants none of the smoke. I think this is a really interesting look. And I also like that we're kind of coming back into that previous area over here at 163.7. Yeah, okay, I like that look. Also, I did get filled in PDD. I'm taking that short. So yeah, please just punch with that. That was a planned trade. We might be flipping, but this Elf I like as well. Look at that I need to have this on my side chart for tomorrow. Look at that massive area of resistance. 1, 2, 3 times we reject here at 159.70s. Then we kind of come bounce off, VWAP a little bit, then curl to the downside. But both Snow and Elf recovering from that market-wide drop pretty nicely. So we'll have to see how they react to whatever they report. But you'll find out with myself and Sean and an Elf on the shelf. No Elf on the shelf, but Elf will be on the docket for earnings tonight. And let's see if we get snow and profits from Snowflake. And let's see if we're going to be out in Nvidia or out Nvidia.
Wow.
And I'm going to stop with the puns, because I'm sure, yeah, it's a little much, but there we go. And PDD, I hope you don't stop moving to the downside. I like this look. I really just like that we kept rejecting, and that was really the play I was trying to make. If we get into 70s, I'll be pleased as punch here. I was risking just like about 10 cents, so if I make anything more than that, I'm going to be pleased as punch. And I have seen that we keep dipping lower, so let's get low. Anything else you're looking at as ahead of the green screen? 940
Nvidia, that's what I'm looking at right now. We just finished yapping about that, and it was at 944 when we were yapping about it, and here it is. 940, it bounces off that. Actually, because it's a monster, it doesn't even hold up at 939. So deep was the retracement. 938.30. I mean, look, if you want to have tight stops, maybe Nvidia is not the one that you want to trade. There are others. You can trade NVDL, NVDS, NVDX, but you know, this one's going to stop you out if you look for that exact level to hold up. It's $900 and it trades a ton of shares. So here we go. Low a day, 938.80. It's moving dollars at a time, guys. A little bit in 940 land, a little bit in 939 land. It still hasn't made a newer low below this candle. The low of this candle is 938. Yeah, 938.30. Excuse me, not 50. So we'll keep eyes on that. Yeah, Nvidia at low a day right now, not a good look. But the other one that has continued to do the same thing over and over has been Tesla, retracing into the 20 period umpteen amount of times today. And it really, I don't think if you took this trade right at the 20, you could have messed it up. Maybe you could have. Maybe I could have too. But I'll look for a 180 rejection. if it makes its way up there. I only have a couple of minutes until I get up to the big desk. I won't be taking any trades at the moment. Finally, I just want to look over some of the small cappers that I've been looking at. We traded ENVX well today. That was a good one. FREY also gave you opportunities. It might give you them right now because it just came back down into the volume weighted average price. 247, 248, FREY up big on the day and now at VWAP. The other one as well that we had eyes on is IGMS. It's also had a dalliance with the volume weighted average price at 11 1/3. I'll keep my eyes on that. We'll leave it on there for tomorrow to see if it has a continuation play. And last but not least, MAXN. This one was really the big mover earlier. It hasn't even made its way down into VWAP at 3 1/3 now. CVAC has given up the ghost, broken down below VWAP. And same thing with SPWR. Solar, all strong today. Even the Chinese solar names, Jinko Solar, JKS, and some other ones are all running as well. Keep your eyes out on those. What was the catalyst today for solar? What was it?
I didn't even see anything.
Yeah,
a lot of them are heavily shorted is what I think it is.
That's why.
Because SunPower is a nice short float. I'm pretty sure
right.
First Solar does as well.
You're right.
I don't know, though.
All right, guys, I'm going to send it to Adara, and I will see you guys on in a few minutes at the big screen. One more time here, Ram. This is how you, well, you can't do it anymore. Yeah, you can't do it anymore. Ends at 150, so I won't be saying. I'll see you guys at the big desk.
Yeah, and we will see you at the big desk. Cannot wait to see what Taker Sharif will be looking at. Thank you guys so much for being here. I had a great day. Hope you guys had some fun today. Darwin, thank you so much for bringing this up. Like I said, I've had some issues with my newsletter, so I need to deal with that and rectify that. But saying Nvidia challenger Grok enlists Morgan Stanley to raise $300 million, as reported by The Information. Thank you so much, Darwin. Much appreciated. Basically, the story is that apparently Grok is looking to enlist Morgan Stanley to raise $300 million. It's not GROK, it's EuroQ, which, as I understand, those are maybe two different things. So I just want to be clear. Let's take a look at that and make sure. So yeah, GROQ is a different AI, just to clarify. It doesn't look like it's Elon Musk GROK, it's GROQ. So let's look at that. Trader Forever saying, hey, Roku is up, winky face. So let's look at Roku. Oh, it is? Look at that. Oh my gosh, wow. Wow, Roku, okay. Okay, I see you. So look at all these like little wicks we had here to the downside. Look where they go into, right? It's gonna be around that 58.40 area. Look where we bounce. That's right, 58.40. Twice we had this high, 58.95. That gives you a nice little, roughly 50-cent bounce at our range. Sorry, I think that's a great look here. Great range on Roku. What else are people looking at here to end the day? I want to take a look at IWM because I feel like I neglected this name a little bit. I had a nice trade here. I did give this one up too early. And this is where I want to say as well, I appreciate people for telling me today, Adara, sometimes you have to let your winners run. I really have a hard time doing this because I find whenever I do that, that's when I paper hand and I mess up. But when I have a case like this, when the defined range is another cool 30 pennies below, just wait till the defined range hits, right? That's where I think I definitely have to castigate myself a little bit and have a plan to go back in and fix that. So I do appreciate that. And then IWM range, I really should have had eyes on this. That's a great look. Zach Frack asking, is Sean still in NVDA long? I don't know. I am not aware. He's not at his desk right now. He's waiting to find out. But you can check out our second stream, the dashboards. You usually get a sense of those positions there. So great look. What are other people looking at? I want to see what people like, what people want to take a look at on this SMCI at 870, says Trader Forever as well. Let's take a look. SMCI. Okay, down about 2.5%. Oh, wow. Okay, that one just took a massive hit along with Nvidia. That rejection of VWAP was wild. We actually have a little wick above, too. They try to get to 900, and it's like, no, I'd rather not. Continues to the downside. Big move down here for SMCI, recent S&P 500 inductee. Let's see. Okay, let me see this daily chart. Okay, so this isn't like a perfect area, mind you, and I want to shout out to Sharif because he always says sometimes you're not going to see everything, or not everything's going to be a level, but there is a little bit of a level here around 875, 880. We had that bounce twice, actually a flat bottom break here from that 870 level, which is kind of nuts. Fall to the downside, come back up, reject just below 900, reject again. Then we bounce again off that area just above 700, come back, and now we're trying to kind of hustle with that level. So I think this could be an interesting little level for SMCI. Let's look at A to the M to the D. Kyle Burdett saying it's trying to get red now. Oh, that's the daily. Let me switch to the 5-minute.
Trade ideas brought to you by 20% off Trader TV.
Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. I think AMD too, it's clearly at a decision point. We're at 165, so whole dollar level, and we've had quite a few wicks below. So I really think what we do here could be very interesting as well. Thank you so much, Jason Walcott, saying, calling me the CEO of positivity. I appreciate that. I'm not going to lie. I had a really rough time around 12:30 today. You guys all saw it. I felt like I was literally down in the dumps. My P&L was certainly down in the dumps, let me tell you. And did I make everything back? No. Moderna was still the big red boogeyman for me today, but I am really proud of myself because I kept going and I saw stuff I like and I wasn't gonna not trade it because I liked it. What I did was I honed in on the two names that I had good reads on today, which were gonna be Tesla and PDD, and I just kept looking for stuff on those. Took a couple positive trades here on Tesla, although I did give up that second one maybe a bit early, and then took a couple positive trades on PDD, and it just comes from saying, you know, if clearly I wasn't reading Moderna right, I should have left that one alone way before I did. But I went back to those names. I said, how can you try to fix this if you see trades you like? So I'm happy I did that. Thank you so much, Jason Walcott. I appreciate it. Shout out to Monty G. Shout out to everybody here. I'm just so happy to be here and be able to take these trades and learn and grow. These have been my worst days these last few days, but you know what? To quote the Degrassi theme song, whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. And certainly, you just got to keep on going. Hopefully, going to have a better day tomorrow. And I've certainly learned a lot today. NVAX asked Jesus Cabrera. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could be curling a little bit here, but I think this kind of support area around 15, where is it, 16, could be a little bit interesting. 30 seconds left on the day. Jay Lee asking for direction on TQs. Yeah, I think a little bit of a bounce for sure, for me right now anyway. Where I think resistance might come in would be A, around this 90 EMA area and this top and turn around 64.40. Then that big pre-market resistance area around, or support area around 64.50. But you know what we support and what we do not resist is going to be ending this show. Hope you guys had a great How to Trade. We've been up, we've been down, we've been all around, but we've been trying to stay positive. Thank you so much to Bears versus Bulls for your support and for killing it every single day. We're going to have to see you guys tomorrow, though. Same bat time and same bat channel. For now, though, we have everyone at the big desk, but we also have a big move down in the market and Sharif at that big green screen, guys.
Welcome, guys, to the new segment where you choose what we talk about. You had your say today from 1 to 150. Now we're going to talk about the